Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing working? Maybe it's working. I have no idea. Let's see. Hello? Maybe. Welcome back. There is sound. Is there sound? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How about now? How about now? Yes? Yes? Sound? Good. Jesus. Can't hear shit. Okay, good. All right, we've done it. Looks like our sound is back. The man is off of me. You got sound? Everybody say, huh, if there's sound. Looks like there ought to be sound. Okay. Let's see, this one is 2. Oh, shit. What have I done? Let's, bloody hell. Let's try this around. That's a little better. Perhaps. All right. So now I'm going to go back to all those super chats that actually I'm going to wait for more people to come on because there's people that want their super chats answered. I would like them to be on to hear them answered. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes. So if you weren't here last time, the live stream just suddenly cut off. It's weird. Yeah, suddenly cut off. And there were a bunch of super chats I hadn't answered yet. So I'm going to answer those first. But I'm going to give people a couple more minutes to get back on. So please wait patiently for me. While we listen to soft jazz and play solitaire. Tarot? No. I'm playing solitaire. Because I'm old. Patience. How long would that take? Almost there. We get to 200 people ish. Then we'll go ahead and get started. Remember, super chats get answered. This is it's basically a giant fundraiser for our future chicken processing factory, so that we don't have to sell equity in our business to afford it. Helps us to retain our integrity. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Jenny, are we going to do an end of summer cookout again? Probably not this year. Probably next year. Yeah, this year we're just too busy, too much going on. All right, we're at 200. I'm going to start answering all the old questions. I'm going to briefly interrupt my solitaire. All right, let's see. Let's have a look. Oh, bloody hell, don't select. I want to just look at it, you jackass. Here we go. All right, so last one, let's see. First time using Super Chat. Haven't gotten the go-ahead yet to eat nothing but Costco chickens at every meal. Great, good, subpar, or crappy. Costco chickens are, I mean, the rotisserie chickens, you can make several meals out of them. They're fantastic enough. They're not the greatest chicken you're going to get. They're conventionally raised. They're not particularly special, but it's affordable protein, and I'll never be mad at that. Next, I love your content. You are living my current dream. How much land would you say is necessary to be able to live off of, and what states do you recommend? So, not a homesteader. If we're talking about living off the land that way. If you're talking about a commercial farm, it depends on a lot. If you're doing like high tunnel microgreens and stuff like that, you don't need much land at all if you're able to find a market for that where you can make a living. For a homestead, if you're trying to just like grow enough for yourself to, like, I don't know, provide all your protein or provide a vegetable garden or whatever, like a lot of it just depends on what your goals are. But generally speaking, you can do a lot depending on your soil type, your drainage aspect, sunlight, a lot of different things. If you're like in my area and you have fairly well drained soils and decent fertility, like decent natural fertility, you can do an awful lot with an acre. Um, but a lot of it depends on what you're trying to get out of it and what you mean by like live off of is kind of a loaded question. Um, if we're doing what we're doing, like trying to support 20, 30 jobs at the rate we're trying to support and stuff like that. I mean, our business plan calls for hundreds of acres, so it depends on a lot. Like it's kind of a loaded question. And one other person said there were never adults in charge of the economy. I don't know if I agree that's true, but there haven't been any adults in charge recently, so I'll give you that. Next, Jamie Luciano. I'm in North Carolina, would love to support if shipping isn't an option yet. Is there any chance for a member's pickup day location? You're 3 hours away, well worth the drive. Love everything you're doing. We have a shop at 3706 Kings Highway, Colonial Beach, Virginia, that is open Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can come down anytime and grab stuff there. We don't have like a pickup option on the website. You can place an order and set the shop address as a shipping address and come get it, and we'll like refund your shipping fee when you come to get it. But yeah, that's about as good as you get. Let's see. Frank Santoyo asks, what's going on when I buy 12 eggs and 6 have double yolks? What's probably going on is you've probably bought jumbo-sized eggs, number one. Jumbo-sized eggs are going to have a high correlation with being laid early in a chicken's egg laying cycle. And the earlier you are in that cycle, the more likely you are to get double yolks and kind of weird stuff like that. So chances are you just got a batch from hens that were laying early in their cycle. So yeah, nothing crazy going on, no mutations and stuff like that. You're just very likely to, if you're getting jumbo eggs, well, not very likely. You have a much higher likelihood of getting double yolk eggs in jumbo eggs, especially at certain times of the year. Let's see. Disabled Army Vet Miranda asks, excuse me, I'm from Newcastle, Delaware. I'm right outside of your area that you service. Is there a way I can meet you guys somewhere to get your product? You would have to come to us. So when our delivery drivers go out, it's not like they're on a very tight schedule. They've got like they have shit to do. Meeting people in places is extremely inconvenient for a lot of reasons. People don't show up. They don't show up on time. If our drivers get delayed, like it's a lot to manage. So the best thing you can do if you're out of state, if you can find somebody in state, either in Maryland, Virginia, or DC, to either have it shipped to or have it delivered to and come pick it up at your leisure, that is much better, much more gooder for us. Let's see. Next. Big thank you for your 4th of July sentiment. I have one of those preciously illegal marriages, but I'm not one of those either. Yes. You are very welcome. James G 6109 asks, will you ever sell lean beef like Galloway, Highland, Dexter, etc.? Do you have any recommendations in the Virginia area for lean beef? And what about lamb? We do sell lamb from one of our partners at New Roots over near Annapolis. That's my homegirl Sarah. Galloways. I've done Galloway beef, like belted Galloways, the Oreo cookie cows. Highlands are the pain. They're temperamental. Slaughterhouses don't like long hair breeds, and they kind of let you know about it. Dexter, okay. We're probably not going to get into specialized breeds like that. Honestly, if anything, we're going to like Galloways, Highlands, etc. Those are cows that are kind of evolved for cool weather climates. Virginia is not that. Virginia is hot, humid, effed up. We're more likely to go after like Brahman genetics and even get away from Angus if we can. So probably not. Is there a school that your daughters go to learn about their heritage, or they learn from you? They learn from me. There's culture classes that some of our, not even my tribe, but some of the nearby Native communities have, especially in Baltimore. But now they're mostly learning everything from me. Um, let's see. I'm looking to learn about the history of the Grange movement in the USA. Do you have any thoughts on why that movement faded over time and a book on the history you might recommend? I want to have to refresh myself real quick because I haven't looked that much into the Grange movement. Give me like 2 seconds to just refresh my memory. Oh yeah. The Grange movement, formerly known as the Patrons of Husbandry, was a grassroots coalition of U.S. farmers founded in 1867, aimed to alleviate rural isolation and combat exploitive practices by railroad monopolies and grain elevator operators by pooling resources. Farmers established early cooperatives that advocated for government regulation of big businesses. Hang on. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, from what I remember about the Grange movement, it was kind of a precursor to what we consider to be modern agricultural co-ops these days. Co-ops tend to be a way to push back against concentration of agribusiness and their ability to set prices, often at the detriment of farmers. Um, I don't know enough about it to speak at it at length about like why it faded out or if it even faded out. Like I don't know if the Grange movement necessarily died so much as just kind of evolved into kind of modern agricultural co-ops, but they weren't necessarily successful at opposing the kind of the increased concentration of grain elevator companies and what eventually became the ADMs and Cargills of the world. Um, it's hard to push back against. It's hard to push back against that kind of like price chasing consumerism, right? Um, Especially when the Grange movements weren't necessarily geared towards feeding local communities. The Grange movement, from what I remember, was more about competing with concentrated agribusiness, kind of on a national scale and eventually in export markets. I think that's always going to be an uphill climb. Trying to organize farmers that way. There's kind of a reason that our farm ourselves wound up not organizing as a co-op and instead turned into more of a traditional kind of corporate business, so to speak. So I don't know. There's a lot of things militating against the success of co-ops and groups of farmers who were like on independent estates trying to coordinate their activities against kind of unified business interests. It's kind of like that Game of Thrones thing where Robert said, seven kingdoms, seven, one. You know what I mean? Like one is a fist. Uh, so that's really all I can offer about that. Next, what is your opinion on having geese on your farm or homestead? I've heard mixed reviews about geese. I don't use them. Most people that have geese have them as a kind of, I think they're aerial predator deterrent. Um, like some people swear by them. Some people like it's the biggest waste of money and time that they've ever had. So I think it kind of depends. Um, so me, they're not worth it. They're mean. They're loud. And there's kind of better ways, especially if you're on a homestead with limited acreage. I think there's probably better ways to manage predators on your place. Let's see what else we got. My father was a research scientist for Agriculture Canada, PhD in bovine nutrient. He's found that a lot of beef farmers would be resistant to his advice, or chicken farmers similar. Chicken farmers often don't call vets to the extent that large animal livestock people do. The reason a lot of beef farmers don't want to listen to their vets is because everything a vet recommends is usually going to be expensive. It's something you got to buy. It's another input, and these guys are very cost averse, so that tracks. Chickens, if a chicken gets sick, like people who raise poultry have like tens of thousands of them, sometimes hundreds of thousands of them, and unless you have something that's racing through your flock, that's an emergency, that's like a pathogen, um, then you're generally not going to call a vet. So I would imagine that chicken farmers who are usually calling vets because there's an emergency threatening an entire flock are probably going to listen to vets more than the large animal people. But I don't know because I have never, not once in 13 years, called a vet about something wrong with the chicken. Let's see. Someone asked, "Are you selling stock in your company?" Not at the moment, no. So the whole reason we're doing this live, and why we're kind of doubling down on social media, is because that's providing big windfall of money in addition to our own profit, so that we can capitalize our own expansion, so we don't have to sell stock and potentially dilute our own influence in how the business is run. So, so at the moment, no. Let's see what else we got. Somebody asked, "Discovered your videos recently. You share them with friends. Imagine you're entirely liquid at 60. Sell it all, home and all. How much money is the target for retirement for a high earner?" That's going to depend on a lot of people. For me, what I am personally looking for is 5.5 to 6.5 million. That's what I need to fuck off. Let's see. Next, any plan to farm vegetables, fish, or other diets? No. I mean, I can't say never. Like, it's not just my decision to make. But I don't see it for now. We're kind of the chicken people, and we've got a lot kind of wrapped up into that. So, so yeah, I don't think so. Especially not fish. Like fish, somebody asked about dairy earlier. Like, somebody asked if they should get into poultry or dairy, and I told them that with dairy, it's really hard to distinguish between. It's really hard to differentiate your product when you're moving into things like dairy and you're moving to things like seafood. And if it's hard to differentiate your product from the base commodity, if it's hard to differentiate your product from the base commodity, you're going to have a very hard time charging the higher price that you're going to have to charge because you're smaller. You're not going to have the economies of scale that the commodity producers do. And so you're just going to have a hard time staying in business. I think with fish, that's going to be probably even more the case than with dairy, because how do you distinguish? How do you distinguish like farmed tilapia at your place? Hold on a second. Yeah, it's like, how do you distinguish farm raised tilapia from everything else? So yeah, that's a hard thing to do. Hang on one second. I gotta take care of something. All right. So anyway, who's next? How bad is the smell of big chicken houses? That depends on farm to farm. Some farms are really careful about cleaning out their houses and occasionally refreshing their litter and things like that. Others aren't. Chicken manure can become not only smelly but dangerous at high enough concentrations because the manure eventually turns into ammonia. So it can actually release nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. And not only is that an extremely potent greenhouse gas, but it'll burn your lungs and like screw up your health. So yeah, it can be not only stinky but dangerous. Next, do you watch any sports, and do you have a favorite game or moment? Mine was anytime early 2000s Ravens versus the Steelers. Love watching with my dad as a kid. I used to watch football back when it was easy. But now you got to be signed up for like 9 different streaming services and whatever. And I'm not paying $150 a month to watch the NFL. So no. So I like football, but I'm not willing to jump through the hoops that you have to jump through now in order to watch it. My favorite sports moment was when Washington won the Super Bowl, like Super Bowl 26, back in like 1991 or 1990 or whenever the hell that was. And I mostly remember that because I was like, my whole family was together to watch that game on this big old projection TV screen. So it's one of the more fun memories I have of my childhood, in spite of the team's awful name that finally got changed. Let's see. Next. Someone asked, they said, you sell chicken and eggs. Do you have associates that sell beef and pork products as well as turkey? Just an outside question. I do sell beef and pork from two friends of mine that I know very well. Monrovia Farms that we get beef from, and New Roots Farm that we get pork and lamb from. Turkey we raise ourselves. Mason raises those, and we process them at our facility. So yes, we do. Do brown chickens taste better than white ones, or is it the other way around? So the white chickens you're probably referring to, like generically white feathered chickens versus dark feathered chickens, no, it doesn't make a difference. But when you're talking about breeds, the white Cornish cross, that's the kind of the standard meat breed. Um, Taste better depends on things. Um, if you know how to cook a stewing hen, for example, like an older stewing hen that has like all that yellow globular fat, and you slow cook it and you do it right and you do it with the right recipes, that chicken will have more flavor than a Cornish cross. However, it's less versatile. You can only slow cook those older chickens. You can't fry them, you can't bake them, you can't roast them, you can't smoke them. There's like one thing you can do with them. So they basically have to go into stew. They have to be braised or whatever. Um, White chicken, much more versatile. Cornish cross, much more versatile. You can fry it, you can smoke it, you can stew it, you can do whatever you want with it. Because mostly because it's a younger bird, the connections in the muscle fibers aren't that old. It's less ligamenty, stuff like that. Um, so, uh, yeah, a lot of it just depends on what you're after in terms of in terms of your cooking goals. Um, Let's see. Somebody said, in graphic design, a job can be done in 2 or 3 ways. If it's done fast and cheap, it won't be good. If it's done fast and good, it won't be cheap. If it's good and cheap, it won't be fast. Do you see that pattern in farming? Yeah, that's like that 3-part thing. It's like it can be done. What is it? It can be done fast. It can be done well, or it can be done cheap. Pick two. That does apply to farming, 100%. Yes. Um, Really, nothing else to say about that. That's 1,000% true. What happens to the chickens in the off season? We simply don't have broilers in the winter, so the broiler chickens just aren't here. We don't take any more chicks after October. Um, and the egg laying hens, they're very cold hardy. Virginia winters are fairly mild, even when we have. I mean, we had a crazy ice storm last year, but they got through that just fine. So they just hang out in the woods, and they have shelters built for them for to get out of the weather and stay warm and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what happens with them. Let's see. What inspired you to start this YouTube channel? Do you have any tips or tricks for someone who's just getting into agriculture? I started YouTube as a hedge against my Instagram account, which got deleted. So my Instagram account got deleted some time ago. It's been over a year now. So I started diversifying into different platforms just in case I got banned or kicked off or whatever. My YouTube was fairly inactive for a really long time. I finally started taking it seriously maybe about 6 or 7 months ago. Any tips and tricks for someone who's just getting in agriculture? That's I finally have a copy of my own book. That's what my book is about. For anybody that wants to get into agriculture as a first generation farmer. The first advice I always offer to anybody is what I would offer to any entrepreneur getting into business. And that is get an accountant and an attorney. Set up your books early, set up your legal structures correctly so you don't have to do it over again expensively later on. Find a market for your stuff before you start farming, before you start growing stuff, before you start buying land or leasing land or doing any of the production stuff. If you can't sell, if you can't market, none of the rest matters. If you can figure out how to market, you can always figure out how to grow later. So those are the biggest tips I would offer for anybody getting into it. What else we got? Somebody said, "You're so funny. Your wife must love you very much." I certainly hope so, because otherwise that would be awkward. Can you say bye-bye waffles? But I just did. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody, this one's interesting. Someone said, "I don't know where you stand politically, But hypothetically, in a stateless post-capitalist society, do you think your type of farm will be able to feed people, and will factory farms become obsolete? In a stateless apocalyptic scenario, my type of farm will exist. No, it will not exist. I, in the event that there is a major social, political, and environmental upheaval, I think the world will be different in ways that people cannot quite comprehend. My bit, like, I mean, basically any business, any farm that exists right now depends very much on the rule of law, free flow supply chains, um, no Mad Max type stuff going on. Like it's, um, I think things will be forced to become hyper local simply because you won't be able to defend your supply chain. Like how do you keep from getting robbed if there's no rule of law? How do you everything we do right now depends on the systems and structures that we have in place, on infrastructure, on defense, on law enforcement and shit like that. There's a lot of things we take for granted that are going to get crazy in a really big hurry. Um, I think a stateless society is going to give way to warlordism, because resources are going to become precious, especially land resources, natural resources. People are going to fight over them. Without a state, you're just going to have localized groups of people doing violence to one another. Cooperation is not as easy as people would like it to be. And yeah, it's just something that I don't want to happen. I mean, as much as we might think of like statelessness as being kind of this wet dream, the problem is the transition from where we are to there. And in the middle is going to be just an ungodly amount of violence. And I don't think any of us are ready for that or want it. That would be incredibly bloody. And farming and food provisioning will look much, 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 much different than they do now, and will look way different than I think anybody is anticipating. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Somebody wrote, owner thinking of closing a restaurant. What should be considered and checked before exploring turning it into a worker-owned co-op? There's an organization that's devoted to doing that. So I've never, like, we don't, our business is not a worker-owned co-op. So I can't pretend to have insight into how to make that process work well. There's whole organizations that have experience with that and can provide advice on if you're thinking of retiring your business and want to turn it over to your employees, that you can do that. But I've never done it. I haven't done it. The only thing I think, the only advice I can really offer is to make sure that there are really no traces left of founder syndrome, that everything in your business is proceduralized, and doesn't depend on the force of your own personality. That's very hard for a lot of businesses to do, where all of your operations can basically fit in a manual that anybody can figure out how to follow, how to search for, like how to handle this situation or that situation. But there's organizations that are way more well equipped than I am to give advice about that. Okay, what else we got? I think this is the last page of the old ones before I got kicked off last time. Why did you pick chicken for your business? Are you particularly passionate about poultry compared to other foods? Are there other products you'd like to get involved in? If I had infinite money and didn't care about marketing, it would be bison. That's why I initially got into farming, was to get into more indigenized agriculture and indigenous livestock. And bison aren't domesticated, and it's a completely different paradigm the native people had. It's as close as we get to an indigenous food, right? So I picked chicken, particularly doubled down on chicken when we started Blackbird, because everybody eats it. It's very easy to sell the whole animal. It can't kill you. It's relatively inexpensive to produce. It's reasonably climate friendly. Like there's not a lot of politics around chicken the way there is around beef. Um, so yeah, that was really it. Like big market, cheap to produce, turns over quickly. Um, and yeah, it just made really good business sense. I'm not particularly passionate about. I mean, I guess I am now because I've been raising them for so long. Like I know them really well, but but no, it wasn't like I love chickens, therefore I want to farm chickens. It was I need to farm something that has a big market and is inexpensive to produce and can store well. Like meat is nice because you can freeze it, unlike lettuce, for example. So so yeah, that is why. So now I'm going to go into the super chats from this one. See, I answered Jenny's question. Jen Jones up top there is one of my oldest customers. See, she was around so long. She was around when we were still Sylvan Aqua Farms, and I was delivering stuff myself in paper bags and meeting her in a parking lot of a shopping center up in Centerville. That's how long Jenny Jones been around. Let's see. Do you have recommendations for people who don't live near you? That's DTQ7119. If you don't live near me, I would look at blackfarmersindex.org. That's usually where I point people to. They have a state by state listing of farms that are mostly like mine that sell all kinds of stuff. Meat, veggies, protein, rabbits, dairy, like all that good stuff. So yeah, blackfarmersindex.org is where I would recommend if you're not immediately near me. I think eatwild.org or .com or whatever also is still around. Let's see. Somebody asked, how many chickens does it take to equal one cow profit wise? About hold about 215. Let's see. Next, Junk Drawer asks, trying to convince all my DMV friends to become Black BBC members and manifest a similar business appearing out here in the PNW. Appreciate the outreach you do. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. Sarah Louise 1782 asks, what do you have to do to help your livestock through the totally not climate change, totally normal heat wave? Yeah, climate change is a son of a bitch. Now we got a friggin' El Nino year coming, like, and apparently it's going to be a super El Nino. So our egg laying operation, we fundamentally changed. We went away from those like pasture based, like prairie schooner type things, where you've got like basically a mobile hen house that the hens can like fuck off into a certain enclosed area of your field. You move it every so often. If you go to my old TikTok, my old YouTube videos, you'll see that. We got away from that because it just got too hot. In that model, the only shade you have is the hen mobile itself. And so when it gets super hot, everybody wants to crowd into the hen mobile until they get even hotter and there's no airflow and hens start dropping. So that's why we raise our hens in the woods now. And we haven't lost a single bird to heat. So that's nice. The broiler tractors are different because the way they're stocked. So the broilers are in basically just think about a greenhouse that's on skids and moves. They are in there at a stocking rate where there's still plenty of airflow in and around and between the birds. And so they're in shade, there's airflow, the sides come up, they can't get out, which means they can't burn up in the sun, which is nice. So they're fine. So they're hot, they're pissed, they don't eat as much when it gets hot like that, but they're still growing, they're still doing well. We haven't had any like crazy heat death or heat loss or anything like that. So that's how we've managed it so far. There is a potential that it's going to get even hotter, or that just the weather events themselves, like discrete weather events, will get more severe. So we're starting to look at what does it look like to raise broilers in the woods like we do our hens. That's something we're actively starting to research now. See, next. Dialove6971 says, hey, I found your page about a month ago and I'm a big fan. Thank you for being a decent human being in a time where media makes that seem depressingly rare. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. KH Cloud asks, "Hi Chris, thank you for all you do. My fiance is pescatarian. We both love your videos. Was wondering if you have plans to sell fish or veggies." Yeah. No, have not. No. Yeah, I think I just might have been you. But no, fish too hard to differentiate. Um, not enough market potential there. Like I don't want to compete in that. That's a jungle. Um, and veggies, that's just like I don't know. It's almost like a surgeon trying to go from like heart surgery to brain surgery. Like that's a heavy lift. So nah. Like I can grow veggies for myself in my own homestead, but it's a different beast trying to do that profitably for market. Jen Jones asks, "Have you ever met the Garden Gays in King George?" Yes. Yeah. Dragon's cool as shit. I'm actually trying to hook up with them next year to sell some of their stuff, and I know they want to sell some of our stuff in their market. They've got like a really nice roadside stand over on I keep want to say Kings Highway. It's not Kings Highway. That's 301 going south towards like Bowling Green. But yeah, they're super cool people, and yeah, I think Mason's actually talked to them extensively. Aaron's son X is coming in hot with that Nixon 5 energy. What's a realistic timeline for Blackbird Coop to be able to deliver to New York City? Probably. I would like to be delivering or shipping to New York by 2028. I don't think it's going to happen next year. I could be wrong, um, but I'd be surprised if it was next year, just because of getting production levels up that high. I love says, "Hey, just wanted to say I love your channel. I appreciate the information you give. You talk about a lot of topics I was uninformed on. You are very welcome. Thank you." Somebody asked, "Do you have Venmo? YouTube takes 1/3." Yes, they do. I do have a Venmo, which I'm going to have to look up right now because I never use it. Hold, 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 hold. Have nothing in my Venmo. That's fantastic. All right. Anyhow, my Venmo is that. Eh, eh, eh. At Skywoman Media is my Venmo. If anybody wants to send us Chicken Factory money and make sure we get 100% of it, appreciate you. Let's see. How's the book thievery going? You know what? I don't know. Let's look. So, if anybody wants to know what that means, like I said, I wrote a book. It's thick, sort of. The print is very small. The print is too damn small, but you can still read it. Mostly, it's in color, like me. And however, the book became so popular that some people decided to create AI plagiarized versions of it, which is just the craziest thing. So let's see, first generation farming. Let's see what comes up under books. I see mine. Oh yeah, there's another one there. There's one by somebody named Andrew Collins. It has 251 one-star reviews, letting everybody know that it is in fact a plagiarism. That is hilarious. Hold on, look at this shit. Oh man, it's literally has 100% one-star reviews. So I don't know. If you buy my book, make sure it's the one by Chris Duman, and it looks like this, and not like whatever the hell. Jesus, that is not something I expected. Somebody just plagiarized a whole ass book and just try to draft on. Jesus, freaking AI, right? Anyway, Sona LP4H, thank you so much for your $50 donation to the Chicken Factory of the Future. Danaba NW, thank you for your $5 contribution to the Chicken Factory of the Future. LTC 5032 asks, "What happens if animals die prior to slaughter?" Happens all the time. For the most part, they are composted. Yeah, like whether it's on the slaughter line or in the field. On the slaughter line, it's rare. But in the field, if like, like the worst thing that happens is if like a raccoon or something gets inside of the electric fence somehow, they'll usually like they'll try to dig under one of the skids, and they won't be able to quite get all the way in, but they'll like grab a leg, and like it's pretty effed up, but like they will just like eat the leg off of a chicken while it's alive, and that thing will bleed out and die, which sucks. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And when it does happen, compost, they go back to the soil. Let's see. Matthew Brighton. Hold on, let me expand this. I still can't read their whole name, but thank you for your $100 contribution to the Chicken Factory of the Future for 6 months of amazingly educational entertainment. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see, what else did I miss? Like I said, y'all, super chats get answered. This is a giant fundraiser, basically, for the poultry processing plant that we're going to have to build in the future, and for all the back and hand and spine saving automations we're going to have to introduce to our field stuff. Like we're trying to automate feeding now, which would be nice as we start to scale. Dumping 150 25-pound buckets of feed starts to get hard on people's bodies. We'd love to be able to automate that, to automate parts of our processing line, stuff like that. Keep people from getting carpal tunnel, repetitive motion injuries, shit like that. So every dollar we raise here is a dollar we don't have to raise from investors giving up control, people wanting unreasonable returns on their money, shit like that. So thank you so much, everybody that's donated gifts and super chats. Next, Brittany Wilson says, hi from Amherst County, Virginia. Learning to cook chicken from mom who has alpha gal. What would you suggest I buy as a beginner looking at chicken backs for stock? Only know how to grill. Honestly, roast chicken is the easiest thing to do, and technically the cheapest for the most amount of meat. So, yeah, like my phoned it in chicken thing is usually to take a whole chicken, cut the backbone out, spatchcock it. I'll separate off the legs when I'm roasting because the breast is going to dry out if you leave it in too long. So you want to be able to pull out the breast separate from the rest of the bird. So spatchcock it, cut the legs off, season the whole thing in whatever. Usually if I'm lazy, I'll use that. I think it's called just chicken shit. It's like a really good poultry season, like a good poultry seasoning blend. You can usually buy it at just about any grocery store. So I'll season in that. And underneath of the whole thing, I'll put lemon slices, crushed garlic, shallots, and I might put cloves, and sometimes I'll put ginger in there if I remember. Just like stick that aromatic bundle underneath it. Like with all meat, pull it out of the fridge and let it start to warm up on the counter before you stick it in the oven, so you don't have to overcook it, because the longer you cook it, the more it's going to try to dry out on you. And yeah, just throw it in the oven at like 375 and wait for it to get to, like, check the breast and the legs separately. When each gets 165, pull them out, let them rest for 10 to 15 minutes, and serve them up piecewise. You can put it in a soup later. So if you take that backbone and make a stock out of it, you can make chicken soup with that. Or you can just make up some nice flavored rice. I like to take, I basically have rice around all the time, and I'll usually I'll cook rice with, it's like after it's been cooked, I'll throw it in a wok, and I'll, what I'll put in there. I do salt, turmeric to turn it yellow, pepper, cumin, cilantro, and usually like lime juice or something to make it tangy. And that's kind of my favorite chicken and rice dish. But yeah, that's the best I can do with that. Somebody asked, "Oh, do you have a chicken recipe book?" I should write a chicken. You know what? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write a fucking how to cook like chicken 10,000 ways, because I do know like 10,000 ways to cook chicken. Okay, that is now on my bullet list, and we'll be done at some point. Let's see, who's next? What is the Dumbest thing you've seen a chicken do? Uh man. What is the dumbest thing I've seen a chicken do? I'll tell you the dumbest thing I've seen a turkey do, but turkey's not a chicken. Um I mean, generally the dumb things that chickens will do when they're in a woodland system is they will roost so high in the trees that they can't really get down. Like they're like cats getting stuck in trees. Like they'll jump from branch to branch to branch. They're trying to get as high as possible and get away from stuff, which is fine, but they can't exactly come down gracefully the same way. And so a chicken will sit like for an hour waiting for the perfect time to jump all the way out of this tree from like 2 stories up. And then kind of face plant when they land. This is why I'm not worried about like yeeting chickens, right? Because our chickens will literally go to the tops of trees and then launch themselves off the tops like infinitely higher than I could ever toss them. And they land. And sometimes they have to shake it off, but they're always fine. Like nobody ever breaks legs or anything like that. Chickens aren't quite as dumb as most turkeys. So they don't do that much dumb shit. They just look dumb doing everything that they do. I had a wild turkey get itself into our hen enclosure last year. There's actually videos of this in my TikTok account from like last. When the hell was that? Is that like September? It's like September 2020. No, I feel like it was earlier than that. Yeah, it was back when I was still managing hens at Stratford Hall. Yeah, we had a goddamn turkey just decide to live with our hens for like a week, and like just wouldn't leave. Just kept getting her ass kicked, and it was just freaking weird. But yeah, chickens are dumb, but our system doesn't give them a lot of opportunities to manifest their stupidity in dangerous and unprofitable ways. Let's see, Joel Wassinger. I didn't hear you respond. Will you let me do GIS for you? You'd have to talk to Dan. Dan's our agriculture guy and our land guy. Hit up Dan at blackbirdcoop.com. Because I have no idea what I do with GIS, honestly, but I bet he does. Because I think he has a background in that stuff. So there you go. Shit. Hold on. Hold. Somebody said, "Do you do podcasts? Can I have you on mine?" Not really, just because the demands on my time are severe. Yeah, basically every spare moment I get, I try to spend with my family because I'm growing a business and I work too much as it is. So at the moment, like not right now, but in the future, probably when things slow down a little bit, we're not growing as quickly. Joel Germany 1236. Bye waffles. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Bunny 2, for offering 10. What is DKK? I don't know what currency that is. I don't know if that's expensive or not. Chanel Bresnik 1332, $20 asks, I know you don't want big investors that interfere with your business model. What about crowdfunding investors, or is that not a thing? I'm thinking of what people tried to do with Spirit Airlines after it closed. Yeah, so crowd equity. So here's the thing. Offering equity in a company, especially when you're advertising it to the public, is highly regulated. You even if you're offering debt, you have to register it with the SEC. You need to have an attorney draft those things. You have to make distinctions between accredited and non-accredited investors. If you're bringing on non-accredited investors, and I forget what the exact numbers are, but there's to be considered an accredited investor, there's income and net worth requirements that are quite high. If you're offering things to non-accredited people, there have to be like very, very explicit disclosures about potential for loss and stuff like that. Like attorneys have to draft that shit. You can get in a lot of trouble with the SEC for stuff like that. There are crowd equity platforms out there. they take a hefty bite. Like I don't know what the plan was with the whole Spirit Airlines thing, because like, was it a GoFundMe? Hold on. Spirit Air. No, yeah, maybe it wasn't GoFundMe. Yeah, I forget. Like there are crowdfunding platforms, crowd equity platforms. One was done by that guy that everybody hates, Kevin O'Leary or whatever. I think it's called Start Engine. I think Fanbase uses that to raise money. So yeah, for us, like, like we could, but it's one of those things where if we can raise the capital ourselves, we're going to, just because it's like when you do crowd equity, and let's say you wind up with like 200 or 300 investors or whatever, like distributions become a nightmare once you're profitable. Suddenly you've got 300 checks to write. Your tax situation becomes crazy. We would almost certainly have to reorganize as an S corp or C corp. Like an LLC is not going to work well for a crowd equity type thing, because then you're having to send Schedule Ks to like a couple hundred people. Like, well, what does that accountant's bill look like? So no, like, it's bringing on investors. Like, it's one of those things that sounds nice, but when you look at the meat, of it, unless you are raising, I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars, it's just not necessarily worth the headache. And you're raising it all at once. That's the other thing. Like, we need millions of dollars, but we don't need it all right now. We can raise it kind of slowly. So yeah, and until and unless we need a whole lot of money all at once, which we're not anticipating, I don't see us doing that. Let's see. Mr. Pipro asks, was curious what your thoughts about ag gag, like ag gag laws. I don't know that much about those. Let me look at something real quick. Ag gag laws are anti-whistleblower statutes that criminalize undercover investigations, photography, or recording at agricultural facilities without the owner's consent. Designed by the agriculture industry to prevent exposés on animal cruelty and unsafe conditions, these laws have faced significant pushback. Yeah, that kind of shit I am stridently opposed to. I can understand, specifically in the livestock industry, it is very easy to take photographs of stuff that seem extremely unflattering, present them out of context, and outrage people. Like, it's what's going on with like the gestation crate debate right now, right? Like, what people are seeing, number one, generally aren't gestation crates, they're farrowing crates, and they're being presented to the public in a way that makes them look like something they're not. Like, you see a pig that's in this crate where it can't, like, it can turn over but it can't turn around, it's completely confined, and people are just left to assume that like the pig lives its whole life this way, and not like the couple of days where it's doing its initial nursing so it can't roll over and crush its piglets. It's like this kind of stuff is why ag gag laws exist, because people are willing to play fast and loose with the truth and kind of take advantage of a public that doesn't know how agriculture works, has never worked with livestock, doesn't know what humane conditions actually look like, and they tend to Disneyfy like what they think animal operations ought to look like. And it's like, look, you can go to any animal operation anywhere, like the cleanest, most humane, like out in pasture, out in the grass or whatever, and you can take photographs that make things look like like, if you don't know what you're looking at. And most people don't know what they're looking at. But I don't think the response to that is to pass laws that say you can't do like whistleblower photography. You can't do, like, I think the response to that should be like, I almost feel like that's a kind of a First Amendment violation, honestly. Like, I don't know if that shit's ever been challenged in the Supreme Court. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But that does feel like the government kind of criminalizing speech. So, even though it's not technically political speech, but but yeah, I think the response from agriculture should be to educate, um, because agriculture has some of the best PR on the planet, and for it to kind of hide behind ag gag laws instead of explaining, for example, like why do farrowing crates look this way? Why are poultry designated for slaughter put in these crates where they like can't necessarily move around? Like explain why most of these things are short-term housing situations that mostly keep animals from killing themselves while they're in high stress situations, like after birth, being sent to slaughter, like stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think ag laws are just really obtuse, and it's a blunt instrument, and the pushback that's against them should not be a surprise to anybody. The Blood Wraith asks, any chance you will narrate and do an audiobook version of your book for those of us with visual impairments, making reading difficult? So yes, I've actually done kind of extended readings. So like I'd read what's in the book and then actually add more commentary. I've done a few episodes of those on my Patreon. Those have slowed down a lot since the farm season started, because just I'm being pulled in 10 different directions. Like I'm not an influencer. Like I work in my business all day, every day. And even this is like part of my work in raising capital for for our chicken factory. So I've done that. I'm also thinking about, I do have, I finally opened up subscriptions here on YouTube. There's 2 tiers of it. And there's a strong chance that like once a week, I might just pop open the book and just read out of it and offer commentary as I'm reading it to people who are paid subscribers. So anybody that's got like that, the cookout level subscription or membership, you'll be able to take advantage of that. So yeah, I'll definitely do that. Now that I finally got physical copies of the books, I can just read it. Fantastic. Let's see. Next. Hold. Okay, next. I asked about why you chose chicken and what product you were interested in getting into, but I just got back. Oh yeah, so somebody asked, why we chose chicken. So I'll repeat the answer to that. We got into chickens because it's easy to sell the whole animal. That's important. Like with pigs, for example, like you can get into pork, and I can sell pork chops all day long. I can sell bacon all day long. I can usually sell sausage all day long. Selling back fat can be difficult. Selling leaf fat can be difficult. Selling hams is next to impossible. You can't do much with the feet. Like people buy pig feet, but they don't want to pay nothing for it. And there's not much you can do with the organs. Whereas with chicken, I can turn the feet into pet treats. I can turn the liver into pet treats. I can turn the gizzards into pet treats if I want to. The backs and the frames can be turned into pet treats, so they can be made into stock. Breasts sell easy, thighs sell easy, drumsticks sell somewhat easy, and wings we can't hold on to. They literally fly. So yeah, easy to sell the whole animal, and it's very important to be able to sell every single bit of an animal for the sake of your financial management. The second thing is there's a huge market for chicken. Just about everybody eats it. There's not a lot of people that say I just absolutely cannot eat chicken. A lot of people say that about beef. A lot of people say that about pork, lamb, rabbit, like stuff like that. Like everything. It seems like every type of meat except for chicken has some group of people that has like a gun drawn on it. So chicken just has the biggest market and is the easiest to sell and the easiest to make incursions into that market share. And then the third thing is they are inexpensive to produce, and they turn around quickly. So Cornish cross goes from 1 day old chick to ready to slaughter in as little as 37 days for us. We'll carry them often 2 or 3 weeks longer than that, but if we needed to, they can be ready. They can be ready very, very quickly. So you can turn over lots of sets of them. They don't eat much. They eat between 10 and 12 pounds per chicken to get to slaughter weight from day one. And they can't kill you for the most part, unlike cattle, unlike pigs, unlike lamb, unlike sheep, unlike goats. Like any of those will kill you or severely injure you. Chickens, as long as you wash your hands after you're done handling them and don't get shit in your mouth, you'll usually be fine. Otherwise, you'll get a Campylobacter infection. You're going to have a bad time. Let's see. Next. I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm going to have to quit in, in a little bit. Let's see. What's next? Living in North Stafford, how long does it normally take for a chicken order to be received? I asked because I made an order last week on Tuesday. Yeah, it always sucks when you order from us early in the week. So the way our deliveries work is, and that is Danovan Northwest, Danovan Northwest. So the way our thing works, orders that are received on, let's see, if you said, hold on, let me make sure I got this right, because it's also possible you just generally fucked up. That does happen, but hold on one second. So you said you made an order last week on Tuesday. So yeah, that would have been on June 30th. Yeah. So what happens is this Sunday, I want to take all the orders that were made from basically midnight last Sunday, like 12:01 a.m. on Monday the 29th, and all the orders that were made until midnight tonight, which will include your order, and those get put onto the schedule for next week. We basically batch everything up like that because we can't really do on-demand orders because we have our farm that's on the Northern Neck, and then we have a distribution center that goes to Northern Virginia. And I don't know if you're necessarily in Northern Virginia. Some people might be in Richmond. Some people might be in Charlottesville. But basically, all of our inventory gets sent out to our distribution centers all at once on Monday morning. And then we do all of our deliveries between Tuesday and Friday. So we basically batch up all the orders we got the week before, and then we deliver those out. So you are going to get a delivery schedule either tonight. Actually, no, I'll do it Monday because when I send it out early, I always miss something. People always order at like fucking 11:59 on Sundays. So I wind up missing orders and disappointing people. So Monday morning, you'll get a schedule that'll have your order number on it and what date it's scheduled for. And you'll get an email with all that stuff in it. So yeah. With us, for the quickest turnaround, it's usually best to order on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because then you'll get it that following week. But like, it's the worst if you order like Monday morning, because you could be waiting almost 2 weeks to get your order. Because like, if you order Monday morning, and then you happen to be like, we're usually hitting most parts of Northern Virginia on Friday, you're waiting like 11 days. So yeah, until we get slightly richer and we can afford like bigger storage facilities, because that's what the issue is like how much stuff can we store at our distribution facilities. Right now, the distribution facilities are small, and we have to like send up what we know is going out. Once we've got more money, we've got more capital, we can afford more cold storage at our warehouses, so we can just send like a fuck ton of stuff, and like we can just fulfill orders as they come in. But we're just not that big baller yet. But we're getting there as quickly as we can. One of our goals is to have like less than a 48-hour turnaround on orders, but right now it's usually closer to 4 to 5 days. Let's see, who is next? Oh yeah, and you said you're North Stafford, so yeah, like when you're in Stafford, you could either wind up on the northern routes or on the routes going out to Charlottesville, and that all depends on like who else is ordering, where they are, like lots of stuff. Like the dance of putting together our delivery routes is extremely difficult, and it's why like that's the part of the business I handle right now. And when your senior most partners is handling that thing, that's usually the hardest thing in the business. Brittany Wilson says, oh wait, thank you, Elva Carter, for your $19.99 contribution to our chicken factory of tomorrow. Brittany Wilson says, we're not expecting a whole ass recipe. Thank you so much. You are welcome so much. We'll buy the recipe book when you write it. Yes, I have written that down, so I will remember to write it. You are very welcome. Dylan Notzor says, my wife's name is also, well, my wife's name is Annie, not Amy, but I'm a Hebrew Ukrainian. I hope you ain't in Ukraine right now. It's dangerous as hell. I appreciate your $2 donation to the chicken factory of tomorrow. WordGlass77 asks, will first generation farmers ever release on Kindle? I can't read print. Also, as an Anishinaabe or Ojibwe. Oh, y'all crazy as hell. I'm just playing. I love your presence on social media. Um, the only reason I haven't done a Kindle version yet is because the PDF ebook version of my book, I basically get 100% of that money. Um, on Kindle, I got to share like more than half of it with Amazon. Um, so I haven't released a Kindle because I didn't want Kindle ebook sales to cannibalize the other ebook sales where I get to keep more of the money. I might reconsider that, but this is another one of those things where like the book money is also what we're using to capitalize our business growth. So like all the money is coming in social media, the ebook, the physical book, all that stuff like that. That's basically coming into a big pile that basically I'm going to loan to the company to expand to like fund our growth as like a sweetheart interest only lowest interest rate I can get away with the tax people and like pay me back whenever. So anything that like lowers the amount of that nut of money, I tend to be averse to. Not because I'm being greedy, but because I don't want investors if I don't need them. um, let's see. Allison Beth 1516 donates $4.99 to the Chicken Factory of Tomorrow. Just got my first order on Tuesday and everything has been great. Thank you. Was wondering what brand kitchen knives we use in my videos. Thank you so much for your order, and I'm so glad that we were able to feed your family and or just you. So the knife that I normally use is that like triangle shaped Hanasuke that's in there. I don't know the brand. It was actually a gift from my homegirl Andrea that I've known for like 20 years. Yeah, I don't know the brand, but I think it's hard to go wrong with the Hanasuke. Like no matter what the brand is, I don't think you need to buy one of the like hand forged ones that'll run you like $400 or $500. Like you know, uh, I think a standard Hanasuke that costs you under $100 will do pretty well. Gray Lady asks, as a CS major, Windows or Linux? Linux, hands down, all day long. Windows. I mean, I'm not going to say Windows is trash. Like it's Windows is great for people who are not computer people, but being somebody that appreciates control and performance and speed and a lack of entropy, I'm always going to be a Linux guy. So yeah, may Linus Torvalds live forever. Let's see. CDN Ford, thank you for your $100 contribution toward the Chicken Factory of Tomorrow. You didn't even ask for nothing. You are very generous. Let's see what else is up here. Cribbins McGee asks, what are your thoughts on the co-op business model? Yeah, I get asked that a lot. What's the best way to answer that question without breaking anyone's heart? Okay, so let's talk about the context in which people ask about co-op. Most people ask about co-ops because there's this idea that we like small farms for some reasons that are good, some reasons that are made up. And while small farms individually have a hard time succeeding because of marketing, buying, economies of scale, all that stuff, wouldn't it be nice if they could coordinate on buying stuff so they could bulk purchase stuff and pay wholesale for all their inputs instead of retail? And wouldn't it be nice if they could, when they get all their products to harvest, that they could put it together into a single market so they could sell together to lower the incremental cost of sales and offer more products and yada, yada, yada. There is a reason that co-ops work fairly well with conventional established farms and don't work so well with small farms and relatively new farms. And the reason is, and this is my opinion, just based on what I've seen, the reason that I've seen for that is that the larger and more conventional farms follow the same set of practices. the trouble I've always had with trying to coordinate with other small farms, which I still do today on a very limited basis, um, is that everybody's special. With small farms, you've got these like tinkerers and like inventor type people who everyone is very creative. Um, but the problem is if you're trying to say, it's www.blackbirdcoop.com, right? And that used to be co-op. Um, Problem is if you have a co-op of say poultry producers, um, if you have a co-op of poultry producers who are producing, let's say we're all producing meat chickens because we're trying to like provide enough chicken to feed like Virginia and New York and New Jersey and North Carolina or whatever. Um, Farmer A is going to do predator control with dogs, and they're going to use like Joel Salatin style pens. Farmer B is going to use radios for predator control, and they're going to use like pasture tech, like large pasture schooner type stuff, like we do. Farmer C wants to raise them in the woods, completely out in the open, and also they want to use red rangers and not white broilers. Um, and small farming is like that. Like it's like it's fucking herding cats. People are usually small farmers because they want to do their things their way. Small farmers tend not to like standards. They don't like procedure. They're like anti-engineers almost, which is fine in its own respect, except when you're trying to cooperate. Um, so when you get farmer A, farmer B, farmer C, who are using completely different methods and therefore have completely different cost structures for what goes into producing their stuff, if it costs farmer A $20 to produce a broiler, it costs farmer B $12, and it costs farmer C $22, then what do? You can blend all those prices together. You can just say your average cost is going to be 19, and then you're gonna do your price based on that. But what that does is it punishes your low cost producer, and they're going to resent it because they're providing damn near all the profit if there is any. Or you treat everybody's chicken, farmer A, farmer B, farmer C. When you market that, you treat them as three different products, and what's going to happen? Your lowest price is going to win. So you're going to wind up selling all of farmer B stuff, and farmer A and farmer C are going to sit there holding dicks. Then they're going to get pissed off, and then there's going to be people competing against the co-op, and it breaks down. So like what I've seen with why small farm co-ops can't work is just because when everybody's doing things their own way, it's anathema to being able to set a consistent price or being able to offer a kind of a consistent product catalog. Or you just devolve into being a glorified farmers market where you're a co-op, but everybody's stuff is being sold at its own price, its own product list, and all this other stuff. And again, like it's like at a farmers market where your lowest, if you're at a farmers market, whoever's got chicken for the cheapest is usually going to sell out first, or whoever's got the best marketing for whatever reason is going to sell out first. And like you're replicating a farmers market in a more expensive and obtuse and difficult and dumb way. Whereas with something like Tillamook or Land O'Lakes or whatever, like these are, for example, dairy producers who are largely, 99% of their methods are the same. They're producing milk and dairy and butter and all that shit. They're doing it all the same way. So, you're not going to have farmer A and farmer B and farmer C who have, cost per, ton of milk, fluid milk, or whatever, that varies by 10%. It's usually going to vary by less than 1% because it's treated like a commodity. So it lends itself to being able to, blend all these different farmers' products into a single uniform product that you can sell at a single uniform price, where you can drive the price down to where it's competitive in the marketplace against conventional agriculture. Or conventional, like bifurcated agriculture, where the agriculture and the agribusiness are separate. So my experience has been that's why the co-op model doesn't work. Like the co-op model works well for established operations where everybody agrees that they're going to follow like a certain set of practices and use a certain set of vendors and do everything the same so that they are producing for roughly the same price and producing basically the same product. But when you ask most small farmers why they got into farming, that's not why they got into it. They didn't get into it to follow standards and practices and produce what everybody else is. They want to be different. And that difference comes with a penalty, which means you can't cooperate. You can't scale up. So you have to become a marketing genius. And frankly, most farmers just aren't. And so they fail. So that's my unfortunate sour kind of opinion on small farm co-ops, at least. Thank you, WordGlass77, for encouraging people to like the stream. Can chickens smell fear? Maybe. If they can, they don't care. Because, I always tell people, and people are like, can chickens, when we're slaughtering chickens, can chickens see the other chickens getting slaughtered? I'm telling people, it's like, they don't give a shit, dude. Like, if you were to let a chicken out, the first thing they try to do is come over to the kill cones and drink the other chicken's blood. Like, they don't care. They are assholes. And, if they're afraid, they sure as hell don't show it, unless you're like chasing them with a knife. Lauren Tuna sent me a PFAS education email. Hell yeah. I will have a look. Strongest link 360. What is it now? It is 220. And soon I might have to start. I'm making my kids like boardwalk style fries and burgers and shit. And we're gonna try something where I'm gonna toss the fries in salt and let them sit for like an hour and try to get a bunch of the moisture out of them, and then season them, bake them. Actually, no, I'll fry them. And I want to fry them super hot. So hopefully it'll expel the moisture. Actually, I might double fry them like I do. So when you do like Asian style chicken, especially when you're doing like Szechuan black pepper type chicken, they have you fry it twice. They have you fry it once at like 350 to basically just cook it. And they have you flash cook it again at like 425, like really, really hot friggin' oil, basically to expel all the water out of it, make it super crispy. I'm going to try that with these fries to see if I can make these crispy and well-seasoned fries. Then it might explode, but if it doesn't, it's going to be delicious. But anyway, yeah, hope that answers that question. Let's see, next. Hold. Okay, here we go. Miss Ivy B421 says, appreciate all you do. I'm really losing my voice very rapidly. Hold on. Hold. Oh, no, not you. My wife thought I was talking to her. Yeah. Help lubricate the throat muscle. What? I'm pretty sure I will be, yes. Okie dokie. Take your time. Today's candidate is Four Roses Single Barrel. It's one of my most favoritist, relatively affordable bourbons. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me give a little swig. Say hello. Say hello again. 3,600. God damn it. You make more money than that. What the hell? Make my ass itch. You're gonna make me poor. Anyway, hold. That's real nice. Yeah, that's real nice. Oh, that's real nice. I feel my vocal cords healing already. Well, it's a random question. Somebody said, you said in one of your videos you run a 5-minute mile. I don't believe it. Do you have proof? I do not have proof. I can also tell you I will not be doing it again, because last time I did it, I threw up. Also, the 5 minute mile thing has to be taken with a grain of salt because it was done indoors on a treadmill and was not done at a slight incline to simulate wind resistance. Um, so technically, you could say I ran it probably in the equivalent of like probably 5:15 or 5:20 or maybe 5:30. Call it a 5.5 minute mile. Ah, hold, I'm getting my voice back. Everybody is waiting. I'm very tired. All I do is work all the time. That's sweet. All right. Anyway, let's see. Let's go back to the super chats and continue to answer those. Thank you, everyone, by the way, who was offered a super chat, because this is what we are using again to fund our state of the art chicken factory that we will be setting up to take us to the next evolution, where we are able to deliver to places like New York and New Jersey and in East Carolina and South New Mexico and shit. Let's see. Next. What did I miss? Okay, there's the PFAS one. Somebody asked, what is it now? My voice feels much better already. See, bourbon solves everything except domestic violence. All right, next. Appreciate all you do, and my dog loves your treats. Any plans to bring back the dog trail mix? Yeah, the trail mix is the hardest one to make. Well, not the hardest. It just has. Okay, so the things we're able to make in the highest quantities are the chicken claw treats, because we get lots of feet, right? We do a we do a set of 2,000 chickens, you get 4,000 feet. So you get hundreds of bags of claw treats out of a harvest. Next after that is going to be the meatballs, because the meatballs are made out of the chicken frames, and like we get a lot of chicken frames. You get like, if we do 2,000 birds and we usually keep like 400 to 500 whole. So if we're cutting up into pieces, 1,500 birds, and you got 1,500 backs and 1,500 tails, that gets turned into meatballs. You get a lot of meatballs out of that. Livers are going to be the next thing. You get a lot of liver, but not a lot of liver. And we've also got my only Black executive chef, who is Leah Branch out in Richmond. She was nominated for a James Beard Award last year. She didn't win, so fuck James Beard. But she has a dish that has chicken livers on it, and only because she's her, I sell her a lot of liver that I could turn into liver brownies and frankly make a fuck ton of money. But I freaking love Leah. She's my only Black executive chef. She's my only female executive chef. So I treat her very special. She gets livers that I could otherwise buy a Ferrari with. But even with that, we get a lot of liver brownies. With the trail mix, we need wingtips, which we don't get a lot of because half of our wings we leave whole, and that keeps the tip on. So we need that. We need chicken hearts. You only get one heart per chicken, and there's a lot of demand on our heart treats. Like, people want heart treats way more than they want the trail mix, because you can feed the heart treats to both cats and dogs, and I think some people feed them to ferrets. So like, there's a lot more demand on the heart treats, so we make as many heart treats as we can first, and then with like what's left over, we make the trail mix. So there's never a lot of the trail mix. The trail mix has liver brownies in it, has the hearts in it, has the claw treats in it, and sometimes has like a meatball or two in it. And we just don't have that much raw material to make it. So when it's in stock, it's in limited numbers, and people are usually looking out for it, and it is gone. So yeah, until I get a line on like more chicken hearts and more chicken wingtips, they're going to be hard to get. I'm so sorry. And I'm not going to raise the price, because I'm not going to be that guy. I kind of enjoy the fact that our pet treats are underpriced everybody basically, and still make us a ton of margin. So it is what it is. Let's see. Sweets forever. Your videos always bring me joy. Thank you. You are welcome. I appreciate you. For the lesbian hens that crow from the last live, yeah, that freaked me out the first time I saw it, because it happened at night. It happened, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, the first time I ever saw it happen. And yeah, it was dark, because I think it was a new set of hens that we were just putting in, and we were training them to like home to that roost. Like, when you get Yeah, you get a new set of hens and you bring in like 16-week-old pullets. You bring in like 2,000 of them. And in our old model, we had like a mobile, it was basically a hay wagon that was made into a giant chicken coop on wheels that we could, and we would move it from, like, let's say you're like looking down on the farm from satellite view, like the hen mobile is right, shit, the hen mobile is right here. Everything's in reverse. And then you have like electric fence enclosure around that. And so you would move the hen mobile, you would move the fences, and you move it to different spots. But to get them to come home, you have to train them that that hen mobile is their home. And to do that, you basically have to lock them in that bitch for like 2 days. Um, and so the night, and I always did it at night to like put them in there because like we wanted their first time to be in there. Like you don't want them just in there. You put them in there like in the morning, and they're just sitting there like That can lead to fighting and weird shit. And you have to leave them in there for 3 days instead of 2 if you do that. So put them in at night, and I was finishing up, and I was walking out, and I heard this like a straight up like cock-a-doodle doo freaking crow, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Because I just put every single one of these chickens out here, and I know goddamn well wasn't one of them male. And then she did it again, and I saw her because she was the one that was like up on the top, and like I shined a light right in her face, and she did it again. I was like, well, son of a bitch. So yeah, that was freaking weird, but it was cool. See, can I buy your ebook from your website? So you know what? I should now because we're using the money. We're using the money for the farm. So like at first I didn't have the book up on the website because like the book is related to the farm, but it's not like a farm thing. So I'm like, it felt a little inappropriate for me to like put something up that I was personally making money from to put that on the website. And like, it's weird, right? Because like, what if everybody else wanted to do that? Not that they would, but like, what if they did? But now since we're going to basically be using the money to expand yeah, I might as well. So yes, I will. But in the meantime, the ebook is going to be, should be in the set of links that are in my profile. Should be there. I hope it's there. It's a stand.store / Sylvan Aqua Farms, SYLVANAQUAFARMS. Let's see. Hans Lane, 9729, donates $20 to the Chicken Factory of the Future. Appreciate your wisdom and humor. Brightens my day. Shout out to your team. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Cass Hunter, I read your article on the 2020 to 2021 challenges. It was a wild ass ride. Yes, it was. What lesson did you learn from that situation that you still apply today? The biggest one is I am a lot less enthusiastic about the worker-owned model than I was. The realities of turning things over to people as owners is like a lot of people just aren't built for it. Everybody wants the power, nobody wants the responsibility. It's one of those things. So I am much more cautious about who we give equity to, who we make a partner, who we turn into a farmer. It's just made me more determined to vet people before I get close to them. And before I decide that you're down for whatever we're doing. It's made me more hard-headed about doing things the way that I've envisioned them. Like one of the issues that I had with that model from 2020, 21 was we were trying to be like democratic about it. But the problem was that we basically had an inequality of technical expertise, life expertise, business expertise, or whatever. So like you're going to run into a problem when and this is one of the things that's difficult about like turning things over to workers. Like if you're going to retire, if the people that you have making decisions with you don't have the same or similar expertise that you do with the decisions that have to be made, there's kind of a built-in power imbalance um, that the people who don't have that knowledge will start to resent. Um, so back when it was happening, like if we were making a decision about how many stocks should we raise, what should our financial projections look like, what should our budgets look like, how much money do we need to raise, what breeds should we use, I would come into those discussions the only one who could talk about them at length and with depth. Everybody else was basically in their feelings because they don't know how to put together a P&L. They don't know how to do marginal analysis. They don't know uh, how to translate input costs to what your final price is going to be. They don't know how to do price formulations. They don't know what top of the funnel means. They don't know what EBITDA means. They don't know what accrual methods are. They don't know shit. And so you can't be in like an effective kind of like worker democratic situation with people like those. Like I was always going to have an incredible amount of power relative to them because I just knew so much more. That is always going to be the case. When you have a partnership, there's always going to be some people that know less about something. There's some people going to know more about something. Like in the partnership that we're in now, like I'm the one that knows all the financial stuff. I'm the one that knows all the business planning and the strategy stuff. Like I'm still that guy. But Dan, for example, is the agriculture chief. Like at this point, he has raised more animals at scale, even though I basically taught him how to do it. He has now done it in the field more than I have and is now the subject matter expert there. Mason at this point, even though I taught him how to slaughter chickens, how to do all this stuff, he has now slaughtered more chickens than I have. He has run more slaughter crews than I have. He has used more sophisticated equipment than I have. He knows more about, like, Mason can build a house from scratch. He can like change an electrical panel. He can wire a house. He can wire a factory. He can like build walls. He can change the alternator in our diesel freezer. All that stuff. Brian, our food processing guy, has run a commercial kitchen. I've never done it. He knows how to formulate recipes. He knows how to get them through the health department. We all have our specialized knowledge, and there's kind of like there's a balance. So when I'm bringing on people who I'm going to make partners, for example, like you have to be able to do something I can't do. Not only because that provides value to me, but it also provides insurance to you that I'm not just going to and not because I'm an asshole or like a type A personality, but like I'm not just going to like basically raw dog you because you don't know nothing. So like your opinion is going to have limited value to me if all you're bringing is basically your hands. So like that part is fine. And the other thing is that experience kind of taught me is that when you have people who are uncomfortable with what they don't know, because that might happen, right? Like, we could have a situation where, I'm the finance guy, Mason's the plant guy, Dan's the ag guy, and Brian's the food guy. But if somebody is uncomfortable, like let's say that I get uncomfortable with the fact that Dan knows more about ag than I do, or like Brian gets uncomfortable that Mason knows how to build an engine and he doesn't, or like whatever. When I'm evaluating you over the course of, and this is the other thing, I don't listen to a damn thing people say, right? Like I only look at how you act. Like when I'm evaluating people, I almost pretend like I've never heard you say a word. And I just like strictly want to know, like, how did you do? Did you show up? Were you okay? Did you get the job done ahead of time? Did you try to get better at it? I don't want to hear all the like, and this is why like a lot of people hit me up online in an email talking about they want to be farmers, they want to do this, like they've read this book by this guy, they've heard about regenerative, they're so excited, blah blah blah. Like I don't fucking care, man. I want to know, are you going to move that chicken tractor in a lightning storm. I want to know, are you gonna turn bitch when it's 105 degrees outside and it's 98% humidity? Those chickens have to move or they will die. Um, like I want to know who's full of shit and who's not, and you find that out. You don't find that out in emails. You don't find that out in interviews. You find that out when somebody's been farming with you for 9 months and they've been in the shit. Um, Now, when somebody's like uncomfortable that they don't know something, I'm looking for somebody, who number one has been with us for a long time and has like been through the fun times, has been through the times that are less fun, like when everything's breaking down and people aren't showing up and it's hot and it's fucking terrible, because that's how farming gets. And if after all that you have areas that you want to know more about, where you feel like there's an imbalance, where this person knows too much, I want to see you learning it. Because the stuff that I know about how business administration, sales, marketing, finance, economic stuff like that, I wasn't born knowing that shit. Um, I went to school for computer science. I had to learn it by reading books. I read all the time. It's like I just said, like I read 30, 40 pages of books every damn day. Like this is why I seem to know so much. It's just because you do it. If there's something you don't know and you want to know, you go fucking learn it. Books are cheap. The internet's free, mostly. So that's kind of what I've learned. Like I've become, I'm not harder on people. I don't treat people like shit. But when people like want to become part of the team, that's harder now. Like back in 2019, 2020, it was like, hey, it was the Chris Smays, like, view of agriculture. Everybody who wants to be a farmer should be able to be a farmer and blah, blah, blah. And the truth is most people don't want to do it. So that's what's changed. Anyway, that's a long-winded answer to that question. Let's see. Next, OJ Raven 8093 asks, hey, Chris, you're my favorite new content creator. Thank you so much. I'm interested in trying some of your chicken, but I don't think you sell here in Florida. No, I do not sell in Florida at the moment. I'm so sorry. Dom the Master, a lot of respect for what you do. Shout outs from a fellow beige in Wisconsin. Always happy to meet a fellow beige. Thank you. Uncle Simic, everyone, did you exercise today? The fascists did. Why haven't you? That's a good point. My weekends I usually take off. I usually work out. I usually do weights 5 days a week and cardio twice a week. Today is my day off, so my body doesn't explode, and my legs actually still hurt from leg day on Friday. So I need to relax. Let's see. Next, John Nargodian. So listening to your co-op farming issues, would a franchise system work, or is that the whole system of the Happy Egg Vital Farm people? Basically, yes. So what's the best way to put this? If you go to my website in all of its ugliness and you scroll to the bottom, there's like a black and white section that talks about what our mission is, and it talks about the first generation farmer problem. Basically, the franchise model replicates the estate model of farming, which I think is the fundamental problem. So if you have a franchise model where we're the processor, we operate some farms, just like McDonald's does, right? Like McDonald's has some restaurants that it owns, that the corporate entity owns, but then most of them are independently owned. They get all their materials, their building plans, like basically everything comes from corporate. It's built for them. They have to put money in order to like have equity in it. But they like run it according to McDonald's rules. The problem with that is that it basically keeps farming as a rich guy's game. Our reason for doing agriculture is to make something that's less federated in that way, and is closer. And this is one of the ironies about talking about indigenous agriculture, right? Because Native people treated the land and the agriculture as a commons, and believe it or not, operating as a corporate entity where a single entity has control over the land, over the processing, over the distribution, over what goes where, and bringing people in and putting them where they fit. That corporate model is closer to indigenous agriculture than the small farming model and the estate model. And this is where I stopped getting invited to like talks and keynotes and shit because nobody wants to hear that. Everybody's version of decolonized agriculture is usually it's small farming, right? It's Thomas Jefferson farming. It's right. Like, nah, bitch. Like if you read like Ordeal of the Longhouse, where it describes in detail what Six Nations, or at the time Five Nations farms looked like, they were huge. They extended a mile in each direction from the village sites. They were extremely complicated enterprises. They were huge. The scale was unreal, and that stuff extended all the way down to where my people came from, down in the Lower Potomac. So the franchise model doesn't really work with that. Like it just so happens that the corporate model where everything is basically owned by the, in one case you could call it the tribe or the nation, but in this case you'd call it the business entity, the corporation, or whatever, like that is closer to that model, where you had a group usually of head women making the decision about where to plant, what land to clear, what land to go fallow, where to do slash and burn, where to let heal, stuff like that. Like this stuff was driven by like a small council of elder women. We don't have the small council of elder women. We're not trying to like replicate an indigenous America that's no longer here. That's basically what our board is, and this is why, like, again, like I'm hesitant to bring on people as investors, because if you come on as an investor, you might have voting rights. You have voting rights. You're like on the board. If your interest in our business is purely financial, I don't trust you. The one guy I brought in who's a money partner who doesn't do any work for the farm. The only reason he's in here is because I've known him for decades. Like I trust him with my life. I wouldn't do that for anybody else. So that's why we're not really going with the franchise model. We want to build a single entity that is basically able to move as one, that controls a lot of land, that can direct people. People who want to be farmers, they've got a safe career path to come in. They don't have to put up $100,000 to be able to, they don't have to have their own land. They don't have to buy their own equipment. They don't have to be in debt to us because we provide the equipment. None of that. It's like, you want to learn to be a farmer, come in. There's a process. You will learn how to be a farmer. You will learn how to work on the butcher line. You will learn the financial aspects. You can work wherever in the system there's demand for it, without having to like basically be an entrepreneur. Because if farming is going to depend on basically every farm worker also being an entrepreneur, then I don't know. I don't think that's going to have positive outcomes for keeping people involved in agriculture. You're going to have a depopulated agriculture that I think is going to get very scary, subject to corporate control, monopolization, and ultimately social collapse. So that's where I'm at. Let's see. Who'd I miss? I'm so sorry. I'm missing a lot of shit. I'm talking a lot. Hazel Deer put $250 towards the chicken factory of the future. I love the message you put out there, tricking racists to come to the cookout only to make them realize their stupidity because you actually believe in equality. Yeah, that happens a lot. As a trans girl, it makes me feel just like another normal human. Thank you so much for you and for the amazing content. Much love. Thank you so much, Hazel Deer. I appreciate you. Eskraba says, donated via Venmo, but how much are you DIYing your automation systems and equipment versus off-the-shelf solutions? So we are trying to DIY as little as possible. I hate DIY. Because I don't know, like at the scale we're trying to get to, where like we eventually might have 30 or 40 of those PTECs that we're talking about, right? So like we develop DIY solutions to those, then we have to be able to we have to do our own maintenance. We have to source our own parts. We have to and there's a certain security kind of in doing that, but it's also very expensive and very distracting. We're not in the machine building business. We're in the poultry business and in the food manufacturing business. So we're going to specialize that out to people who are good at it, and that's what they do. So there are, the people that we buy our pasture schooners from now, like they make an automated feeding system using like standard industry parts and motors and equipment and gear and all that stuff. So we're going to use that because there's a supply chain behind it. We don't have to invent anything from scratch. It's my lovely wife, who just showed up in her bright green
Catherine.
Yeah, that. Would you like a chair? Are you okay?
No, I'm annoyed.
You're annoyed?
But
she's very annoyed. But anyhow, that is that. Let's see. Next, where is Waffles? Waffles is probably
not in his enclosure.
Drowning in a river some damn way. See, thank you, Simon's Chaos 89, for your $2 contribution to the Chicken Factory of Tomorrow. And thank you, WizKid 8889 for my GOAT award.
Ooh, is that what we're doing? We're raising money for the...
Raising money for the Chicken Factory.
Yay!
Of the future. That way, we don't have to sell our souls or asses. Especially our asses.
Good.
Well, not your ass, because you're technically not involved with it, but Mason's ass. That would go for a mint. Anyway.
I'm going to grab one from outside over here.
Yes, my dear. Let's see. Marco Sale Far 5525 asks, does the fact that chickens drop hot manure affect the way they make pasture? Yes, in the fact that if you don't move them nearly enough, they can burn your pasture into a patch of horrible weeds that won't support anything except certain types of wildlife. But no, if you're managing pasture where you eventually want to layer like cattle and stuff like that and have like good high density grasses that'll support a different operation, then you have to be very, very careful about the heat or the nitrogen content, ammonia content in poultry manure.
Poultry manure.
Yeah, you're here just in time for me to lose my voice.
Oh, good. I mean, not good.
Slide that back.
So glad I could be of service.
Whew. Thank you, Betty Hall. Thank you, Chris Griffin. Yeah. Good luck building the future. I appreciate you. Greetings from Deutschland. Thought-provoking videos. Somebody also gave me a thing of medicine. What is that? It's a sippy cup. It's a sippy jar.
Oh, it's a magic sippy jar.
I have no idea what's happening.
Oh, they're all
but
so
I appreciate
cute.
you.
I love them.
There's also a turtle getting drunk on some shine. Let's see.
Chicken flavored popcorn.
Birdie Peach, can you please make us chicken flavored popcorn? We need high quality snacks to munch on while we watch you eviscerate stupidity. Available to ship nationwide at www. Might have to give Birdie a job in marketing. Birdie's smart. I will pass that along to Brian to see if he can engineer some chicken flavored popcorn without getting us in trouble with the law or Jesus. Let's see. You can do whatever you want. Let's see. Sale 3149 says, I'm a pilot and would love to do a flyover video of your farm. Hot dang.
That's cool.
Is that something you'd be interested in? Maybe come along. Oh, I'm terrified of being in a small plane. Not ever. Nope. I've seen too many celebrities die in small planes. Hell no. But a flyover video would be lovely. You can reach out to, let's see, we'll make this Dan's problem. Yeah. Dan at blackbirdcoop.com and let him know that you would like to do a flyover video of one of the several farms where we presently raise poultry. Probably the Stratford Hall farm would be the most goodest. Let's see. Thank you so much. Uncle Simrick, one of my best friends, went to community college for business to learn all that he could, so now he opened his own mechanic shop, and now he owns 3. Yep. Good for him. Let's see. Next, being half Irish and half Thai. That's a spicy meatball. Can I be that special indentured servant? I don't know. Can't trust them Thais. Let's see. Can I be that guy who brings memories out of that one Asian girl you watching her odd ways of cooking chicken? You better not bring no damn dirty oil filled wok to my damn farm. I'll probably just watch. I ain't gonna do nothing. My bark is worse than my bite. But yes, if you live in the local area, and would like a job, and we happen to be hiring, we will hire you regardless of race, creed, religion. What is a creed? Orientation?
I'm not sure how it's different from.
I don't know what a creed is.
Your beliefs.
We don't care if you're short, if you stank, if you don't wash. You better wash your legs though. You better wash your damn legs. You come to my phone funky as hell. I pray to God I Joan on your ass until you quit. But anyway, www.blackbirdcoop.com, where we don't have any jobs posted because we're currently completely hired out. But soon, let's see. Next, who can forget this? Donated $49.99 to the Chicken Factory of Tomorrow. Love your message. Learned a lot from your TikToks. I wouldn't have blue hair if I wasn't bald. I would have blue hair if I wasn't bald. Hell yeah. Total liberal, but grew up waking up at 5 a.m. to work at my grandfather's farm, dispelling stereotypes. I'm here for it. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. How often do you eat chicken? / do you ever get sick of it? All the time, and no, I love chicken.
We make a lot of chicken, but we don't eat it. I mean, we don't eat it all the time.
I get tired of chicken. Eating chicken is like eating.
I will say that I don't love preparing chicken anymore. I think that and it's not like I will eat it once it's done. Just the smell of raw chicken kind of does me in now. Yeah, but Chris is fine with it. And I mean, I will still.
You better not be casting no aspersions on the smell of my chicken. My raw chicken.
Yeah, no. It smells better than the grocery store chicken.
Oh,
but it's just
you
something
know how
about
offensive what you just said.
I said it
smells better than the grocery store chicken.
Yeah,
that's like saying that I'm the least stinky man in the trash pit. See how she do me? She do me dirty. She do me nasty.
I don't know.
Anyway, see, Nick, there go that drunk ass turtle again. God damn, I appreciate you though, because I think that's money. But anyhow, yeah, I never get sick of eating chicken. I never ever will. And the hell? Oh, and yeah. Oh shit! It did that thing again, where it skips all the way to somewhere.
It says you're taking too long to get to the bottom.
YouTube can kiss my black ass. Anyway, see, looking forward to getting your pet treats tomorrow in Michigan. Speaking of reading, can you recommend some books from your daddy's library? The book that I recommend the most to everyone is The Wayfinders by Wade Davis. A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn.
I loved 1492. I think
1491.
1491. I'm sorry.
It's 1491.
1491 was very readable despite its length. I think some people might get.
It is a very long book.
Yeah, might be scared of how thick it is, but I found it. Oh my gosh! Yeah. I found it a very good read.
You walk right now with your mouth open like a fart. Yeah, 1491 by Charles C. Mann. It's about the Americas before the arrival of Columbus and. No, we apparently gave y'all syphilis. Y'all gave us everything else.
Really?
Yeah, we gave y'all all that syphilis. How you like me now? Your nose falls smooth off.
And what was the one he just gave the girls? I haven't read that one, but I guess
Super syphilis.
Reading. I'm talking about the book.
Oh, the book.
Oh my gosh, the book that your dad gave your children. What's the?
Why you say my children like they ain't come out of you?
The book that your dad just gave them that you read when you were little.
Oh, Wild Season.
Wild Season.
Yes, Wild Season. You should read Wild Season. Let's see. I mentioned People's History of the United States. Mm-hmm. You mentioned 1491. What else is in Daddy's library that's worth it?
There's also, I don't know if you've read it or not, but an Indigenous People's History of the United States. Howard Zinn did not write it. It's by somebody else, but I don't know if
it's fine.
That one or not.
Custer Died for Your Sins by Vine Deloria Jr. It's a good one. If you're interested in what conservatism used to be before it just dove headfirst into the culture war, and you want to know what that side is talking about, or at least pretends to be talking about, Conscience of a Conservative by Barry Goldwater is a seminal read for understanding the opposition, so to speak. And on the flip side of that, Robert, what? No, that's why are you tickling my keyboard? You're tickling my keyboard. You don't have the expertise. What you wearing? What's your name?
Because you're taking so long to get through the comments, I thought it kept jumping.
Why are you so impatient? I'm gonna let them look at you pretty to me.
Oh, I don't have any makeup on or anything.
Oh no, neither do I. And guess what? Here's my belly button. How you like me now?
All hitched up.
You do whatever you want, huh?
Hot.
Because you hot.
The cat wanted to cuddle with me while I was doing my schoolwork. I mean, he was laid out against my thigh, just like all the way long.
I'm jealous. Anyway, let me go back to what you were trying to do, my dear. Is go to the fan funding junks right there, where the people are paying, helping us to fund our chicken factory without having to take on more predatory investment.
Rapid fire it, my love.
Rapid fire what?
Your butt.
Oh, I can rapid fire my butt. Go ahead and get on the sheets. Dutch oven your ass until it's finally braised. Let's see. That's half Irish, half Thai. Pet treats. Money for Leroy. Oh yeah. So I recommended the books from Dad's library. Next, A. Guilibi, 6924. This money is for Leroy. Thanks for teaching and preaching the way. That's an old school reference right there. Dear Chris, I can't send a link via Super Chat. I wrote a Substack about you and Joel Salatin situation. I'm gonna send you an email with a link. Please read it. I certainly shall. Pasty Resistance. Love your thoughts. Thanks for sharing them. Are there any charities you like and promote? I've learned a lot from you and curious who you support.
I mean, I send money to DC Central Kitchen from time to time.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, DC Central Kitchen does very, very good work. RVA Community Fridges has finally organized itself as a nonprofit.
Nice.
So yeah, they're good to donate to. Richmond Food Not Bombs. Also good to donate to. That's everything I can think of off the top of my head. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? Also,
I guess
the what is the one? It's not GoFundMe. Is it GoFundMe?
Hey, go fuck yourself.
That one you can put on like a local filter to see who is in need right around you.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I found that out and I thought that was really cool. That's not really a charity, but I liked it as immediate and local. And then you can tailor it to, maybe you don't want to fund somebody's dog's funerals. No judgment, just saying. Maybe you don't want to fund somebody's dog's funerals, but you could fund somebody's like grandma's surgery, or you could fund somebody's dog funeral if you want.
Somebody's grandma's funeral and their dog surgery.
Or yeah.
Or you could be like that girl Shiloh Hendricks, where you call an autistic kindergartner the N-word, and then you raise $800,000. That's crazy.
Hopefully not.
All she had to do, can you say the N-word and make me $800,000? I might forgive you. If you give me all the money plus interest. And it's okay. Let's see. I guess that's a hard no. See, that's why she's one of the good whites, except she's actually Welsh. Somebody asked if I got the. Yes, I got somebody's Venmo dividend. I appreciate you. Our Venmo account now has money in it.
Are you checking for the person who emailed you a question about race relations and parenting?
Let's see. It came to me last week. Oh yeah, I got a deluge of emails and had to triage them to respond to customers first. But I will read it, but it might not be until like late next week. I will get to it. I actually eventually get to all of my emails. Thanks again for the Venmo. This will be my last super. Excellent. Thank you so much. Hi Annie. Sorry I got your name wrong. Here's $10. Yeah, somebody calls you Amy.
Oh, yeah. It's not the first time. Thank you. That's nice of you.
You can call it whatever you want. If you give her $800,000. Let's see. Next, is your farm going to end up purchasing land and putting all facilities into one campus one day after raising capital? When does that make sense? Yes. We do plan to centralize all the processing operations around wherever our farmland purchases happen to be. Right now, that's looking like it's going to be in Warsaw, Virginia, probably. Because they have fairly friendly zoning laws, unlike freaking Westmoreland County that just wants antique shops that are defunct. Punk bitches. Anyway, so yes, the idea is to centralize where that stuff happens, mostly because of labor. The more sites you have and the more dispersed they are, the more it costs to deploy labor to each of those places. So the more centralized things are, the more hours you can give people, the more you can pay them. And the less you spend on the inefficiencies of having multiple workforces in different places or traveling people between places, if that makes sense. What do we have here? Hey, hello there. Hi. Shout out to the couple. Love to see you out here doing what we do. Well, what she does is teach all your badass kids art, which is much harder than what I do. What I do is idiocy. But what she does is deal with your 700 badass kids, none of whom have home training. Them kids do shit that I could not believe that she tells them on a daily basis. Come home mouthing off the teachers, drop kicking each other in the nutsack, friggin'
I've not seen that.
Licking each other's eyeballs and
That
shit.
I have seen.
And just the baddest kids I grew up with in Southeast DC. I mean, Marquis Duckett, Wendell Harris, like the ones who were fighting. Yeah, I named y'all motherfuckers by name. You remember me. You can't see me. They wouldn't even do half the shit that your medium kids do. I don't even want to know what your crazy ass kids do.
Oh, I love my babies.
I don't love shit. I'm gonna put them all on my farm. It's gonna be convict labor. They ain't even committed a crime, and they're all gonna be whites. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna have a reverse plantation. It's my dream. Don't you crush my dreams.
I
nope.
support your dream.
I know you do. Let's see. Next.
Oh, thank you. That's very.
It's okay to say that your bog witch is gorgeous. Yes, she will not cast a spell on you. You ain't got no poison on you. Okay. Anyway, hi Annie. I hope you and your girls are doing well.
We are.
One of them's marching back and forth because she's
Yeah.
plotting on me.
Yeah.
What is she doing?
She's making the A bell ring. Our perfect pitch child got a new stuffed animal and put a bell on it that she informs me is the note of A. I don't know, but she's very happy that she has an Australian Shepherd with an A note.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who can forget this? What in the actual F is that? What is that over your shoulder? What is that? It's a shelf.
This
is an old bucket. Don't you worry about my disembodied shelf and my fan that ain't got no fan on it, and my door to Never Neverland. Never you mind. You asked too many questions on this Ask Me Anything.
So this room used to be the girls' room, and so I didn't have a full shelf over there because it had bunk beds, and it would interfere with their headspace. The
headspace.
The fan stopped working, or it became, I don't know, wires got crossed somewhere, and so
I thought it was because
you couldn't
because the kids used to have bunk beds there, and the fan would judo chop their head smooth off.
I read them the riot act about the fan and left the.
Every time they get hit in the head, they lose 3 IQ points.
No.
Then they're gonna wind up living with me forever.
It was hot, but the fan doesn't work because it was on the dimmer switch. It all of a sudden started going with the dimmer switch, so you couldn't dim the light without turning the fan up or down.
Yeah, our house was wired by my uncle, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
And then the door to Neverland is just the
door to Neverland
attic space, which is unfinished.
Attic.
And
so where we keep the bodies.
We do actually have a taxidermy beaver up there, which I'm sure is in not good repair.
Taxidermy beaver, huh?
So I guess there is technically a body up there.
Part of a body.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vagina joke. Anyway, let's see. Next. What? Okay, we got that one. Make sure those employees also wash their asses. Too many men don't. I told you I want a bidet.
We should get one for every 12
I want a geyser of water in my culito every time I relieve myself. Thank you for your suggestion. Let's see. Next. Attack of the Badger. I'm starting a small-scale soil product for houseplants. My recipe uses insect frass.
Cool.
What the hell is insect frass?
Their poop.
Why can't they just call it doo-doo? It's got its own special name?
Yeah, it has its own special name.
Is everything else called frass?
Actually, I thought it was specifically for caterpillars. I didn't realize it
Is frass short for farts out the ass? Any tips on sourcing feed-grade BSFL frass? Love you, Broseph. I didn't even know what frass was.
I mean, maybe if there's somewhere that's doing...
You're the bog witch. You would know. Yeah, well, allow the expert to speak.
No, not.
Oh, hell yeah.
Conjecture.
Look at it.
The people who are doing soldier fly larvae, I don't know if there's a way to reliably
defrass.
I mean, if it just fell out the bottom, because people do that with earthworm droppings all the time.
Those are called castings. I'm smart.
Yes, but that's the only one I know how to collect. So that's just a guess. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry we cannot offer more expertise about how to get frass out that ass. Super syphilis.
Love it.
We have an accord. Let's see. Next. Happy July 5th. Yes. Agreed. Knox401 asks, what's going on? I appreciate your knowledge and gems you send out to the world. Also, your reactions, that woman cooking and that dirty ass. Oh, I hate her so much. It hurts my heart.
Can I answer the next one?
You can do whatever the hell you want. What is your? Oh shit! Yeah, she gonna talk for a minute.
Actually, no. I have to come back.
Where the hell are you going now?
No, I just gotta get something.
She gone. I told you she a bog, but she's probably gonna get a live opossum, and I'm gonna send it to your house. This is your fault. They are excited. She excited as hell. I provide an environment where she can have a live possum in the damn room. See what happens when you get married to white people? It's all kinds of shit. You got damn opossum, a raccoon, a mink, a skink, damn mushrooms all over the damn place, different kinds of poison, giant hogweed. Lord, okay, she just bought out. Yeah, okay. I thought she was gonna bring a live possum.
Here, some of my favorite earrings. They are an opossum holding a little igloo cooler. I forget the name of the artist.
Why the hell is it holding a cooler?
Because it's a southern possum and it's going on a picnic or maybe fishing.
Fair.
I love possums. They are wonderful. They do eat chickens, but if you
if you murder them, they don't.
No, they're very
easy to murder.
I have not verified this for myself, but apparently there are no documented attacks of possums on people. I myself have picked multiple of them up because we had a big 50-gallon drum that we would put our compost in to keep the dog from getting it. And when I would tip it over to empty it every once in a while, my little possum friend who lived in the backyard he wouldn't realize it would be empty, and so he'd get stuck at the bottom. So I would just reach in and grab him and take him outside of the fence so the dog wouldn't get him. They do actually play dead. It's so funny.
Take him out.
It's for real. I've heard that they eat a lot of ticks and also that they are immune to rabies. So I love everything about possums, and I really hope to have one as a pet dog one day. I don't think you even need I don't think you need a license for them, but don't quote me on that. And I think that varies state by state. I looked up what exotic animals you were allowed to have in Virginia at one time, and I forget what is and is not allowed anymore. But I do plan on having a pet possum at some point in my life. Because I think I can just go out in the backyard and get one. Apparently, they're very tameable. You just give them food, and they're kind of too stupid to do anything else.
That's how you got me. The hell?
It's my strategy in life.
You never got anybody put a goddamn possum in my house.
I talked way too long about
You ain't talked too long. You talk just enough about how you gonna bring a whole ass live possum in my house. I'm gonna have to live with like a damn roommate. They ain't gonna pay rent. Ain't gonna have a job. It's gonna eat on my damn food and shit in my ass.
It'll eat the ticks.
I have
and
ticks
then
in my
just
house.
hang out and I can just pet it. Just pet it. Maybe we'll cuddle with the cats.
See what happens?
It'll be so cute.
Bring white people in my house. Next thing, white people are bringing possums into my damn house.
All the little bows on it.
Okay. Please send help.
Natalie says she loves your videos.
Love my videos. We love possums in my damn house. You're gonna bring possum in my house. You lost your damn mind. You're gonna bring a possum. You can do whatever you want. She got them big old titties. She got a nice body. She can do whatever I want. She rub my head at night. She make me so happy. You can have all the possums you want. Lord Jesus, you're so lucky. I love you.
Y'all,
I love you so much. I can't stand it.
As hell.
I can't believe
I'm
gonna let you have
fun couple at the parties and gatherings.
I'm gonna let you have a goddamn possum in my house because I love you that much. I can't believe this shit. You're gonna make me build a house for it, ain't you?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Ah, shit.
No, probably just a little bed. I'll just knit a little bed.
If you have a possum in my bed, I'm gonna shit
No,
my ass.
no,
I'm gonna build another house. I'm gonna live in
a little bed. I will knit it a little bed. Honestly, I'll probably crochet it a little bit. I'll crochet it a little bed. Sure you will. Because they probably like little hidey holes.
Jesus Christ on a stick.
Anna says the email went to you.
It says we're the fun party at the fun couple at the gathering. No, I'm the drunk. I get drunk at the gathering and then I be quiet. See, I'm a quiet drunk. I just sit in the corner. I go, and then I don't say nothing. It's fantastic. What is that? Oh, that's a fat ass finger. It's got diabetes and gout.
It's the heart fingers.
Heart finger. Jesus. All right. Email went out to me with a link to Substack. I will read that ace happily. Best wishes to you and your family. I'm a big fan of what you do and how and why you do it. Thank you for all the work you do. How fun is throwing a chicken on a scale of 1 to 10? It is 15 on a scale of 10, especially if you're pissed off at it.
$2 for the bidet.
$2 for the bidet. I think the Costco bidet for like $59. Ooh. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have a geyser of water shooting up my all things. Oh shit! Where'd it go?
Down,
Where'd it go?
Down. Yeah, no.
Oh yes, there's super syphilis.
Mm-hmm.
That's my waypoint. Is the super syphilis comment.
All
things chicken. You better say caldo de pollo es bomb. That's what I just said. Caldo de pollo es bomba. ¿Cómo se dice bomb en español? Ha! Your education can't tell you.
Bomb?
Yeah. Is it bomba? Es bomba? Sí or no? Claro. Let's see, next. Thanks for all the common sense and humor from real normal people. I'm feeling very normal right now. Is Grammy to 8 beige? Damn!
Oh, that's a lot of.
Their family mate like bunnies.
Little beigelets.
There's little beigelets everywhere. Little mulattresses and yeah. Trying to raise a few chickens. I found so much more than farm advice with you. Well, you are very welcome. Every possum deserves a cooler. See, this is what we call enabling.
No,
you want to enable my wife?
They're so wonderful. I love them so much. I should
have
look up. I deleted my Instagram, or else I would tell everybody who the artist is. I'm really sad.
You let her sit on your face.
You?
And the next thing you know, she's doing whatever the hell she wants. You just
Shoot,
drowning
she didn't
under
stamp
ass.
anything
Just going,
on the back.
and it is a motherfucking possum in your house. Anyway, let's see. You don't need anything special. Just get one that's not releasable, not a healthy one. They're telling you how to get a possum.
Oh, yeah, like if it lost a foot or something. I would totally take a disabled possum.
Now everyone is here for the possum content. See, I told you were valuable. She said, I ain't got nothing to say. It's like bullshit. This is a room full of bog witches who want to know all about the possum content. What's a bog witch? Explain, bog witch.
You're the one who came.
I ain't saying nothing. Stop blaming black people for all your problems.
Chris determined that I was a bog witch because we live in a swampy area and I know stuff about the plants. The reason
you also dress like a bog witch.
Also, I am dressed like a bog witch.
You have the hair of a bog witch.
Yes,
and you are now wearing possum earrings.
I'm fuzzy and I wear funny clothes and I go out and do squirrely things in the nature. No, really the reason he calls me that is because as the mother of a child who would put just about anything she found in her mouth except actual food, I felt that it was important to learn about all of the plants that grew around my house. And there are a lot of poisonous plants in Virginia. Some are just like digestive upset, like hollyberries are pretty much just digestive upset. You might get a little sleepy from them. To kill you dead things that are just like hanging out in my yard, like snake root, kill you dead. So now I know how to kill you fast, how to kill you slow, how to kill you gentle, how to kill you in a torrent of violent diarrhea. So that's why I'm a bog witch.
Okay. This is who I sleep next to. This is why I'm very well behaved. Anyway, you can have all the possums you want. As long as you promise to sit on my face and not kill me.
Okay.
I feel like my needs are very reasonable. Anyway, let's see. Next, is it okay for a white person to wear the uppity? That's Jen Jones, too. You know what? Jen Jones gets a special... You can wear uppity because uppity, I think, applies to women as well.
Oh, the t-shirt you made? Is that what the uppity is?
Yes, the uppity t-shirt. It is called the
yeah,
uppity.
I don't think that uppity is a racially charged term.
Oh, it is.
It is?
Well, fuck yeah, it is.
The first time I heard the word uppity was on Third Rock from the Sun with their kind of like trashy downstairs neighbors who were definitely both white. And one of the like alien people was like, he said something about like how to describe them. And the woman was like, most people just say uppity, referring to herself.
See, I would have shot the TV because I have an attitude problem and difficulty regulating my emotions and firearms. Yes, you may wear the uppity t-shirt. However, I mean, the way that I designed the uppity t-shirt is very much black because it is designed in the colors of the Kente flag and it has a Black Panther on the front.
Uppity is
my uppity is decidedly uppity towards me. And but on the other hand, white people, as I've learned, do whatever the hell they want.
We should look up a definition
of white people doing whatever the hell they want.
No, of uppity.
No. Yeah, let's look up uppity.
While you're doing that, I will read them for you. It says, super important. When shall y'all deliver to the Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area?
Oh, it brought up a Mr. Men.
It did. Oh, there's a Mr. Men book called Mr. Uppity. I forgot about that.
Uppity. Why is he? What color is that?
Someone who acts arrogant, presumptuous, or acts as though they are more important than they really are. So that could be, maybe it has become racially charged, but I feel like that could be applied to just about anybody. Arrogant, presumptuous, haughty, snobbish.
I feel like that mostly does not apply to us. This feels like a giant exercise in projection.
So uppity, yes?
Huh?
Uppity, yes. Anybody can use it. Your shirt is just particularly...
The first time I heard it in popular media was in Boardwalk Empire, where Chalky White was described by not Enoch Thompson, the brother. What was the brother's name? The drunk.
I forget.
Eli. Yep, Eli. Eli Thompson referred to Chalky White as, quote, one uppity shine. See, shine being a antiquated, disparaging term for darker skinned folks, not necessarily beige folks, on account of people who are melanated generally having very well oiled skin. It's very natural. See, it's one of those things where you people, and by you I mean long-haired people with pointy noses and thin lips, would say things about us that are actually a good thing, but try to turn it into a bad thing. For example, fried chicken and watermelon, which are both delicious, and which you consume in ungodly quantities. Yeah, but anyway.
I was kind of thinking about getting a bowl of watermelon right now.
A bowl of watermelon, you good as shit right now. See how white people bad influence. Anyway, let's see. Next,
Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads.
Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads. So yeah, in Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads, we are. What the shit? Oh, I'm using the wrong mouse. I got two computers because I'm filthy, stinking rich. Let's see. Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads. We ship there now. We might start delivering there within the next. I don't know. So that plan got interrupted by the sudden popularity of Pet Treats, where we had to decide were we going to turn our Richmond kitchen into a half distribution center, half Pet Treat kitchen, or was it going to just be full Pet Treats? Pet Treats became so popular, we had to double the amount of dehydrators and ovens that we had. It took up all the space we were going to use for the distribution center to get down to the 7 cities area. And now, in order for us to get to the 7 cities, we would have to have a separate lease on a warehouse facility in Richmond, which is a bit of a risk. Because Elon Musk may be about to destroy the economy because of him and all the other AI people wrapping up their mega cap IPOs into the goddamn NASDAQ and violating all the rules. So because of a possible giant economic collapse that makes a 2008 recession look like a speed bump, we are being very careful about incurring any additional fixed costs into our business model. Therefore, for now, we only ship via UPS, and you can get everything in the Hampton Roads area except for eggs. So yeah, let's see what else we got here.
Indoor possums aren't the best idea.
Indoor possums aren't the best idea. Part 2 of their play dead defense is a death-like stank. They admit. Damn.
Okay, so the
no,
answer
hell
to
no. That's what the cool is for. To hold that funky ass.
No. The answer to that is you just have a nice, calm household where you never upset the possum.
We have 2 ratchet ass kids.
I didn't say I'm getting it anytime soon.
They're gonna be ratchet forever.
No, they'll be nice and calm.
And they're probably gonna keep living here to eat my delicious cooking. I cook like a motherfucker. Well, that's how I got her.
That's good
I tricked her. I tricked her with lamb chops, y'all. Hell yeah.
That is good to know.
See, first day we went to a sushi restaurant called Mate. Actually, no, date number 0. That's when I met you in the basement of the sushi restaurant where we was both getting towed up. And I walked up to her and I said, "What's your name, this lady? You want a fish sandwich or something? Yeah, you look like one of them low class whites that like fish sandwich."
Even your daughter just like, "Daddy."
She don't know shit. She wasn't even around yet. She wasn't even a twinkle in my eye at the time. Anyway, in part of this made-up story that I just made up and absolutely 100% did not happen, except for the part where we actually met, which was indeed in the basement of a sushi restaurant. I walked up to her and then I clubbed over the head and I dragged her home to my hut. My hut was a longhouse with a big central fire, a pot where all the food was cooked. You see, and she was intoxicated, literally, like she is now. She was intoxicated by the aroma of the central fire in the longhouse. And then I spoke to her in Lenape, and she said, "Huh?" And then I spoke to her in Lenape again. She said, "Huh?" And then I fed her lamb chops.
Honestly,
and she was mine.
To be fair, I think that I would like pre-contact native cooking a lot more than you would like pre-contact native cooking.
Yeah, I like
love
stews.
Soups
Yeah, you
and
love
stews,
soup.
and apparently it was a lot of soups and stews. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have been the worst.
I'm not gonna lie.
thing.
You would probably make a better engine than I would have pre-contact. That is the irony of our relationship. I make a better capitalist than you, and you would make a better ancient engine than me. That is real fucked up. But you know what? I'm not the one that decides how people's personalities.
How did we get on this? That was about possums. Answer the actual questions.
I don't answer shit. Oh, yeah, I probably answer the questions that people paid to answer. Indoor pot, yeah. So you said you're gonna put that.
Okay.
You're gonna bring some stanky ass damn possums in my house.
Why own distribution? Why not on board with the distributor? That's a good one.
Why own distribution? Because you're gonna have a hard time finding the distributor that does last mile delivery. Because last mile delivery is very difficult to do profitably. So you'll be able to find a distributor to take your stuff maybe from warehouse to warehouse, but to actually deliver it from place to place to place to place, you're going to have to hook up with UPS or USPS and do it. They're going to deliver in a model where you have to insulate everything. Insulated packages, dry ice, etc. requires hazmat insurance and labeling, which is very expensive. That would make each delivery roughly $40 per delivery. We are able to deliver relatively cheaply because we do these on-demand deliveries, these very high-touch deliveries where we are in contact with you all the damn time, so you know exactly when your stuff is coming. So we can avoid insulated packaging, hazardous materials, and all that other stuff that makes delivering with a distributor very, very expensive. Also, there is profit to be captured in that part of the supply chain. And so we're going to capture it so that we can afford to expand our modern state-of-the-art chicken factory and feed you fine people chicken and buy my wife everything she needs to have a goddamn possum in my house. You lucky I love you. If you was anybody else, I would be sad because it'd be like, who the fuck are you in my house? But then after I got over that, I would probably attack you. I would attack you with my elbows and my thumbs. Yep, you lucky. Anyway, let's see next. What are you going to name your motherfucking inevitable bouncing bundle of baby possum?
Oh, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. I got to think of a good possum name. Yeah.
I named it Brunswick.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, yeah. Took you a minute. See, Brunswick stew is basically a stew you make out of any general rodent. Or just nasty ass, miscreant, bushy tailed, half dead.
I mean, I'm not keen on the idea of squirrel Brunswick, but somehow possum Brunswick sounds even grosser, even more gross. Maybe because they're omnivores. I feel like generally eating omnivores is just like not. You want to take the next one? I love your videos and not trying to hate, but are we not forgetting the 2021 incident with the cops?
I love your videos, not trying to hate, but we're oh yeah, the 2021 incident with the cops. Yep, that's one of my favorite incidents. And that essay that I told you about to read about what happened with that shit. That's why we were like, you know what? No more of this fucking agriculture democracy bullshit. Yeah. So what had happened was I brought on these people. It's probably about 6 or 7 of them by the end of it. And they so wanted to farm. Couldn't we just work upon a farm and toil for our own livelihood and escape the wiles of capitalism and exist in the democratically controlled worker-owned cooperatives, and everything will be rainbows and sunshine, and we shall work 15 hours a week as the hunter-gatherers of old, you see. We will decolonize agriculture magically and somehow exist outside of the context of goddamn market economy, et cetera, et cetera. Anyhow, these motherfuckers turned out to not be very good at farming at all, to the point where I was trying to work on how do we get all the money to support all these people who suddenly wound up on our farm, because see, we started off with one person, and then they brought their girlfriend. And then they were having a real good time. So they told 2 of their other friends from a goddamn hippie commune, come on down to the farm. This is a fucking great job. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, I got like 8 people living in my damn house. And we got to find out how we're going to provide a living for all these motherfuckers. Exactly one of whom we had a plan for, but they insisted on coming anyway. And since it was COVID, I wasn't turning anybody away because it felt like you were turning people away to die in a gas station restroom. So anyway, what had happened was, remember how I just told y'all a second ago that you need about a full year to find out if people are actually down with farming because it's not actually fun most of the time? Turns out these motherfuckers did not want to farm. But they also did not want to take responsibility for the fact that you said you wanted to farm, and now it turns out you do not. The way they expressed that discontent was to not feed the animals and to leave tons of feed just sitting on a concrete platform, getting rained on and wasted. And then they would try to feed moldy feed to pigs and moldy feed to chickens and do all this fucked up shit. All the time, I didn't know what was going on because I was trying to raise money to create a business that would house and feed and, be something that these motherfuckers could actually work inside of. So I didn't know any of this was going on until one of them saw that it was getting so bad that they dropped a dime on them. And the dime that they dropped was, Chris is eventually going to find out that we're fucking up all these animals. And if he cuts ties with us, man, we're gonna. And they had all these weird, like, fantasy wet dreams about lighting hen mobiles on fire with the chickens inside of them and doing like Hannibal Lecter type shit.
Loose.
Yeah, letting all the pigs loose.
Which at the time we had over 100.
Yeah,
so
it's like
it
a couple of hundred
would
pigs.
be
So
an
like
ecological disaster to lose
do all that
pigs.
shit. So anyhow, when I found out about this, I fired everybody because they were crazy. And I didn't survive 18 years in Southeast DZ to wind up getting crazy to death by a bunch of hippies with white mamas who decided to colorblind their existence, and now their whole identity is their whole existence. All this weird shit. So anyway, fired their asses. Instead of fucking off like a normal person would do if they were fired, they went to my cousin's house where we had a farm and made up some horse and pony show about how they had nowhere to go. And I don't know exactly what they told my cousin that made her sympathetic to what they were doing, but whatever the hell it was.
Honestly, I don't think it even was made sympathetic. I believe that landlord-tenant law required a 30 days.
Yeah, but they weren't living there yet. Like, I don't know. There was some kind of like sad song.
No, they were definitely living there because remember we started.
Oh, that's right. Some of them living there.
Yeah, there were some living there.
Yes, so some were living there. So anyway, the ones that got fired took their happy asses over to my cousin's house, made up some song and dance about how sad it was and blah blah blah, which is the activity of an insane person. Which, in retrospect, I think they were all a little touched. Anyhow. We go down there to check on one of the farms because I just fired everybody, but we ain't letting these farms go to shit because that's not what farmers do. We're gonna take care of our shit. So we go down there to check on one of the farms. Everything's fine. We're getting ready to leave. On our way back, Annie's like, I think we forgot to turn off one of the water spigots or whatever.
Yeah, we had driven separately, we driven
separately. So Annie went back, and this part is important, with my very young children. She goes back to that farm
with my 2 and
4-year-old very young children, 2 and 4-year-old girls. She gets there to the house. When she gets there, them motherfuckers are there. The same people who were claiming they were going to light animals on fire and do other kinds of crazy shit.
We did not know that they were still living in the house.
Yeah, we had no idea.
We assumed that when we fired them that it was made clear that they were not to be on any farm premises because again,
that was made super clear.
They were not to be on any farm premises because again, they had literally threatened to light livestock on fire.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short about that is Annie gets there. Annie calls me and tells me who is there and what's happening. My response is, I'm going to call my cousins and we're going to come down there and beat the ever-loving shit out of everyone. Annie's much more reasonable solution was to call the police because I was going to go there with a mob. I was going to go there with a mob and hurt people because that is my family's property. Y'all are near my kids and people are about to get hurt. So Annie basically called the cops to keep me from possibly going to prison forever. so anyway, yeah. And this is what they wanted. Like they wanted an incident. And that's exactly what they got.
Yep.
Which is in the wake of George Floyd being murdered, they got a white woman on tape looking very rattled because who wouldn't be, having called the cops on a group of photogenic looking half black people. And so, yeah, that's what that was. So, yeah, we can talk about that.
And I hope that you never get videoed on your worst day. Is what I can say to that because I was terrified. I did not know what they were capable of doing. They had threatened a lot and they took me by surprise.
And part of this was me because you didn't know if I was coming or not. And
my phone died in the middle of all this.
Her phone died.
I was literally able to put a phone call into Chris and a phone call into the cops, and then I was stranded. Then there was no way for me to get
the last thing she probably heard me say was "motherfucker," and then the end.
Because of course your phone dies in these sorts of situations. So yes, I was terrified, and I probably should have just left, but nobody thinks very clearly when they are stressed out, and I was worried about.
You planned it and you whip out a phone to record the situation that you just engineered. It was actually very brilliant on their part. So what happened after that was they used that video footage to set up a GoFundMe and raised like $8,000 or $9,000
with the express purpose of
we're gonna be super homeless. And oh my God, we are just dispossessed BIPOC farmers who had this white woman call the police on us for no reason whatsoever. They took their $8,000 talking about they were going to, stay tuned for more to come, and we're going to farm. There's going to be more farming coming up.
I think the verbiage definitely included a lot about starting their own farm.
Oh yeah, they were going to start their own farm. They were going to this person start their own farm. Instead, they bought some cars and fucked off, and nobody never seen none of them niggas ever again. So like, it's one of the most well executed grifts I've ever seen in my life. But So anyway, that's a long answer to that question.
It was a long answer to that question.
It's a long story.
Everything is edible. Some things are only edible. It's true.
You mean people? I could have ate them.
Oh my God.
Kami had a thick head. I could have feasted on that forever. Anyway, let's see. Possum hunting in the wild away from people is actually delicious. I couldn't do it. I mean, if I was starving,
Teddy Roosevelt's favorite meal.
Teddy Roosevelt's a psychopath.
I'm just going to store that little nugget away. I love that.
What did Teddy Roosevelt do?
It said possum. I wonder how he liked it cooked. Because I have a cookbook
that probably ate it raw because he's crazy as hell.
That is called Bake Until Bubbly, and it's all about casseroles. It's wonderful. And apparently, I think Socrates liked a casserole specifically made of the
Socrates?
Yeah, it was like going way back. It had like these ancient things. He liked a casserole of prolapsed cow vagina. That was a thing that they cooked back then. Would you like me to go get the documentation?
If you show me a prolapsed cow vagina, I quit. I'm gonna go.
No. They didn't have a recipe for it. They were just saying like, look at all the crazy casseroles that people made back.
I don't care if I see it. I'm gonna go live with Dr. Umar.
So now I have a fun one about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, you're gonna like me after that.
So I like that.
Tell me what you did. Hardworking farmer with slender man's bookshelf and busted ass ceiling fan. Look at him. Don't you make fun of my low rent office with no decorations and all my decorations on the floor. Damn. Yeah, it looks real afflicted when you see it on camera. Like you kind of get used to it. You still got your damn dresser over there full of your shit. Because you are an artist and we can't never get rid of nothing.
I know.
Because you might use it one day for art or for possums. But we got a nice window. Because anyway, I work. I'm supposed to paint it. My kids drew on my walls in crayon. Some of them a bitch. Anyway,
Brunswick is a nice name for a possum.
When you get a possum, I will buy 10 chickens if you name it Brunswick. That is simply perfect. Yeah, I'm naming it Brunswick. Okay. That's going to be my price. I get to name it.
Okay.
See, how do you decide on your sales channels? We decided against farmers markets because they were too damn expensive to do. Farmers markets are great if you can get into the big ones. Like if we could get into DuPont or some of the city center ones in DC. But the way they operate those things is it's like the people who've been farming forever get those slots, and everybody else gets to go to their little satellite markets where if you're lucky you make like $400 or $500. Maybe you make $1,000, which might sound like a lot, except sometimes the markets don't happen. A lot of times the markets don't happen all year. If it's too hot, if it's too rainy, if it's too cold, if it's too whatever, if it's too humid, people don't show up.
They may happen. They might just not.
You got to spend 2 hours packing to get ready for the thing. You got to drive an hour and a half to get there. You got to set your shit up. You got to stand there for freaking 4 to 6 hours. You got to take your stuff down. That takes an hour. You got to drive home for another hour and a half, 2 hours. And you got to unpack your stuff another hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's to make $400 or $500, maybe $1,000 if you're lucky. So yeah, farmers markets very quickly became economically completely unviable.
Do you want some of your own bourbon?
Huh?
I drank
everything I have is yours.
Oh, so sweet. I love you.
Uh-huh. I know. Oh, I know. Anyhow, so yeah, that's how we decided on that. And then sales channels in terms of like our e-commerce website, we decided on Shopify because they had basically, we have a lot of weird things we do and how we fulfill orders and stuff like that. So we chose Shopify over like Big Commerce or Big Cartel or whatever the hell the other ones are, because of all the apps that plug into their ecosystem that let us do our route delivery, our route optimization, our pick listing, package. Like we have weird stuff with our packages. So yeah, we needed something that was like very flexible and very extensible. Shopify also offers loans at nearly predatory fucking rates, but when you're starting out, like, what are you going to do? You're not going to get a bank loan. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons we went with that, but we also went with the door-to-door model again, just because we wanted to be able to capture that revenue and not have to compete with other commodities on grocery store shelves and go into like MULO and stuff like that. So yeah, hope that answers that question a little bit. Appreciate your content and perspectives. You are very welcome. Bought the ebook. Yay! Thank you so much. How is your refrigeration holding up in the heat? Let me tell you how our goddamn refrigeration is holding up in the heat. I'm so glad you asked. Our refrigeration is shit, and so the workshop gets so hot, like the shop itself, we have to let everybody go at like 2:00 because the air conditioning can't keep up. It keeps up until about like noon, and then it gets hot as shit. So the humidity is like taxing the AC system. We're going to have to add a supplemental mini split to that thing just to keep it cool enough in there. Bertha, our big giant freezer trailer is powered by a diesel engine, broke down like 3 times in the last 3 days. The alternator decided to die, and one of the belts died. What else was wrong with that damn thing? One of the wires was like, oil? It does that when the alternator dies, because yeah, like when it starts to overclock the alternator, it builds up head pressure. When it builds up head pressure, there's kind of a fail safe. It's just like, all right, we're just going to kick off all the oil so that it keeps from like blowing the head gas, and you have to replace the whole headliner. You have to take the engine apart and all this other shit. So yeah, it blew out all the oil. Yeah, we've had to fix it like 3 or 4 or 5 times or whatever, and all that shit. So anyway, but now everything's fine. It's operating at like 0 degrees right now. Perfect. Ha! What's the next one? Sarah Mock. So speaking of white people I don't like, Sarah Mock is a frivolous, anti-Semite, gluten-free white. I did not realize she was gluten-free. Yeah, Sarah Mock is one of them people who... Oh, I can't stand her ass.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Damn. It's in all caps too. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, that's good.
They paid me to say that. I should have paid you to say that.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, Sarah Mock was one of these people who was part of that group that I was talking about in 2020. She wasn't one of the ones threatening to burn shit down.
No.
But as I described in that essay, it's like,
oh, I need a drink after that.
In the aftermath of 2019, there was like a group of them saying all this like, we're gonna cancel that motherfucking shit, and then there was me going, oh no, you ain't, and like providing receipts and shit. And she and a couple other people who were like kind of on the edges had to make a choice on like, whose side am I going to take to try to preserve my career? And they chose the wrong side. Because I don't know where Sarah Mock is now, but I ain't heard shit from or about that motherfucker in the last 4 damn years. And
traditional America.
No, she went to New Mexico apparently, where somebody like asked her about like, remember Ariel Greenwood, the one that she's one of the best ranchers I've ever met, and I feel so damn bad for her because nobody will take her seriously because she literally looks like a Barbie doll.
Aww.
Like she is tall, blonde, pretty, like knows her shit. I mean, probably the best rancher I've ever met. But I mean, I swear to God,
like I just knew the name.
Yeah, tall, blonde, pretty, looks like a model. She can't say 2 words on Twitter without some jackass who's read one without some jackass who's read one book on permaculture going to tell Ariel Greenwood, who's managing 20,000 acres of dryland open ranch in Montana and New Mexico, about how she should plant a cover crop mix, all in a mix now, so that it'll reduce her water requirements. And like because she was talking about establishing fire breaks, because like this was going on at the same time that everything was on fire in the West, like 4 years ago or whatever. It's just like the amount of stupid that she had to deal with from men. This is why women choose the bear. I understand. That's why I don't get mad. Because I seen how penis holding motherfuckers be talking to. Anyway, Ariel Greenwood saw her at some like, because somehow she was still running her mouth about farming and shit. Sarah Mock, not Ariel.
Yeah, I don't think she stopped.
And
I thought she just went.
And somebody asked her about like what happened up here, and like apparently her only response was to sheepishly go, "I've made a lot of mistakes." Like, damn reformed freaking MAGA voter or whatever. Like, oops. Anyway, that was that. Let's see. Next. That is the funniest. Sarah Mock is a frivolous, anti-Semite, gluten-free. Did you buy your broiler house from Happy Farmer? No. We bought them from Pasture Tech. Pasturetek. They're expensive as shit, especially to ship. Like a third of the price for getting them to you will be the shipping cost, because they have to be delivered freight by a custom carrier who has to come from. They are in Iowa.
Oh my gosh! I mean, not surprising, but
yeah, they sent a dude over from Iowa, and that man showed up. He was tired. And then you got to figure out how to get it off. So like you're probably gonna have to rent a Bobcat to get it off.
I didn't know that part.
Oh yeah, you got to figure it out.
Did Mason and Dan know that when it showed up?
Oh yeah, they knew.
Oh, okay.
And Mason's very good. See, that's why I hired Mason, because Mason's very detail oriented.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Whereas I probably have autism.
I would have assumed, yes, I would have assumed if it showed up that they had a way to get it off.
Nope, they show up. Maybe what they do is they gun it real hard and it just slides off the back.
I like that idea.
Yep, they're too heavy to just kick off the side. Anyway, the exceptional one is on Q&A. Isn't that something? I'm coming from Richmond and would love to see the farm. We can't let people onto the farm because of biosecurity risk. We are scared to death of bird flu. But you can come to the shop Tuesday through Friday from 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 3706 Kings Highway, Colonial Beach, Virginia, 22443. Plot twist, I'm usually not there. So we've had a lot of people just kind of show up, and I guess people just assume I'm going to be there.
You get sad.
Well, they get to talk to Mason. Mason's very handsome. Mason's very charming.
Yeah.
Mason's very good looking. Mm-hmm. Mason's got a big old Confederate beard. Mason lost a French fry in his beard the other day. That shit was funny.
No.
He had a whole ass French fry in that beard. I laughed my ass off, and he ate it too. He didn't know how long he'd been in it. That's the craziest damn thing I've ever seen. Let's see. What broke first as we scaled? As we scaled. Go back to live chat real quick. Staffing was probably the first. So we were having to offer more and more hours to a similar sized group of people as things got bigger. We hired too slowly. So yeah, like if you find yourself getting ready to scale up, make capital outlays that like give you a burn rate on salary, because you're going to be tempted the same way we were tempted to just make up for it in blood and sweat. And like your partner's going to be like, Mason will die before he stops working. I will not do that, but I will come very close. Everything will be better if you just spend the money to hire immediately. And it can even feel like you can even kind of make excuses where it's like, somebody would love to get like 55 hours at $22 an hour instead of just 40. And they would, like, they'll count their money and they'll go home and they'll be exhausted, but they'll be happy because they don't have to work on weekends. But in the end, you have no redundancy. If somebody calls out, you're screwed. If somebody gets hurt, you're screwed. Like if equipment breaks, if something in the schedule, like, all that. So that was the first thing that kind of broke, was just the staff to handle the stuff. We tried to handle it by throwing more hours and more money at the same people. It's better to just hire and get the load off of people. Because it's a better long-term solution. Like everybody winds up making less money in the short term, but everybody's happier in the long term. After that, the second thing to break was cold storage. And not break, but we wound up at capacity. So we wound up at capacity. We were having to like do this weird tap dancing thing to like get shit into the freezers. Nothing was cataloged well. It was hard to find stuff. The incremental cost of fulfilling orders got really high, because you basically had to have now specialized knowledge to know like where shit was in the freezer to fulfill orders. And then when we blew up on social media, we had the opposite problem. Bertha now is empty all the time. We're always running out of shit. And now it's like, all right, how do we produce more stuff? How do we source more stuff? So yeah, like that became an issue. The next shoe to drop is going to be the physical capacity of our buildings. The kitchen where we're doing our pet treats is running about as much electricity as you can legally run off of that service. And our shop in Colonial Beach is rapidly approaching that as well. Like, again, there are so many freezers in there and so many compressors running inside of that building that the HVAC can't keep it cool when the exterior temperature gets above like 92. We're running all the electric service that we can out of it. Our electric bill out of that shop alone is like $1,600 a month. And that doesn't include the fuel to run Bertha, which runs on diesel. That's like another $1,500 a week. Thank you, Donald Trump. So yeah, just physical capacity of our building. So yeah, staffing, cold storage, and the amount of electricity and power that your facilities can generate and handle. Those were the three things that became an issue as we scaled.
I think there were a couple up there, but I've been reading the non-highlighted chat.
Yeah.
And
couple of bucks from Liverpool, UK.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some people debating how white your wife is. I'll put it to rest.
She's the whitest.
Very white. I am practically a vampire. I am mostly Welsh. After that, I think the lineage is French, German, and like a teensy bit of British, but mostly Welsh. I can trace, for better or worse, I can trace my family through my dad's side back to the gardeners on the Mayflower.
They were making sweet love to turkeys. That's the original Butterball. Did I tell you about that? Oh yeah, there's all kinds of accounts of like Mayflower settlers. They just loved it. They loved that big ass. You understand? See, a turkey has a very large ass, and to a stunted, malnourished pilgrim, the thickness of the turkey ass is just, you just want to bury your face in it, which Miles Standish's cousin did several times, and then got caught, and he was convicted of buggery, and I believe that the punishment for that was to marry a colonist, because see, y'all were very funky at the time, and the worst thing you could do was have to get all up in the ass of one of them colonists, half starved, got rickets, short, eating grain and fucking turkeys. Y'all just, I'm gonna write my own history of the United States, and it's mostly gonna be y'all.
I can't wait to
making sweet love to turkeys. Anyhow, that's your people. Tell about the other half of your family too.
I told you that Uncle Kim, my dad's cousin, started putting together like a family genealogy, and he got so upset he had to stop because most of the records that he was finding were like
white trash.
Yeah, basically like the old timey versions of drunken public and failure to pay child support was like most of what he was finding.
Look, most of the trash is white with a sprinkle of yellow.
The majority, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of my grandparents and great grandparents were in Pennsylvania doing coal mining, so that is where I land.
Nobody knows the troubles they see.
Yeah, pretty white.
Yep. So anyway. Yep, that was y'all. How did you get on that?
I don't know. There was just a lot of commentary in the general, like, is she white? I don't know.
Oh, that's right. We were
white.
talking about how white
so
you is. You got great credit, though.
White.
Let's see.
Somebody said you don't know without looking at her bank account and credit report.
That's true. That's true.
Which I thought was funny. So there you go.
You would, because you're white and wealthy. Let's see.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure of how often you do these live Q&As, but can we make them weekly? Yes, I'm going to try to do these on Sundays. Usually you go to worship the lowercase t around the time I was planning.
Yeah, but I'm usually back around noon.
Yeah, she comes back from worship in the lowercase t, and she kind of has to cool off in the basement a little bit, because if she comes in from worship in the lowercase t too soon and then makes contact with me, I burst into flames. On account of me being a godless red savage. Yep.
You might just get some leftover hymns.
Some what?
They sang Blessed Assurance last week.
I don't know what that is.
It's a hymn. It's the one that your daughter runs around singing at the Cats. She like makes up lyrics for it.
Jesus.
No,
not
your
you.
Sister.
That's your sister. Let's see. Next. Next. Love of content. Appreciate you sharing this work with the world. Thank you so much, Peter Holder. They gave us £5 sterling.
Oh, thank you.
I think £5 sterling is worth more than a similar amount of dollars.
I think it is.
I want to get to build a chicken factory.
Wait,
it's
somebody
gonna be
was
crazy.
from Argentina. I saw somebody from Argentina.
Oh no!
Hi, from
That's where the Nazis fled.
Thank you, Dave. Love and prosperity to you. My sister did her study abroad in Argentina. I did not get to make it there, but she really loved her.
Your sister, there. Also Nazi. Somebody take a picture of that face. That's the white lady indignation outrage face. She went, and usually that's when my credit gets fucked up. See, y'all got secrets. Anyhow, no, her sister's not a Nazi. Her sister's actually very nice. She's an ER nurse. Her sister once slapped a doctor on the back of the head because he lost her patient. What are you looking at?
I was trying to find the next. I just saw something about possum, but
you saw a possum and got distracted.
Okay.
Wait, did we miss one before that?
No, I don't think so. I think that was it.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. Anyway, sister, not a Nazi. Hello, I live in California. Do you know of a farm where I can get my eggs? I know a black-owned ranch about 100 miles from me, but they only have produce. Go to blackfarmersindex.org. It might be .com. Blackfarmersindex.com or .org. And they have a state-by-state index of mostly non-defunct farms for every state, divided into several regions. And there are many, many, many in California.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. But California is also a very, very big state.
It is a very big state.
So there's that. Let's see. Next. Hold. Next. Hold. This one? No.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it? I need to cook dinner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make hamburgers for the children. I got them things thawing on it.
Okay, that sounds great. It is 4:00.
I didn't get to make.
You want to do 6 more minutes and then we'll
do my French fries? Yeah, we'll do 6 more minutes. Let's see. Enjoyed your book. Please share part 1 sources. What was part 1 about? Hold up. Look, I got a copy of my book. I got it right here. See, what did I say in part 1? It's book. A word before we begin. I want to say a lot of negative things in the next few pages. Some of these negative things will be about conventional agriculture and the more violent, distasteful episodes of American history, and you will likely be fine with that part. But I'm also going to say some negative things about small-scale farming and alternative agriculture that you might have a hard time receiving. It is not my intent in doing this to discourage you from getting into agriculture. That is false. I'm going to have to update that in the next version of the book. I'm very much trying to discourage many people from getting into agriculture because a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't belong here. Rather, my intent is to discourage you from following the path described by most influencers and authors and masterclass salesmen. I'll state this in bold. Farming will create existential challenges to your financial, emotional, and social well-being if you get into it without being stone cold sober and well-informed about the lay of the land, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Sources. Like I said, I read a lot of books. So when
are you going to be like that guy's sources? What I know.
I mean, you saw me write this damn book, right? So like it was me dumping everything out of my head in like 30 days between February 1st and the end of February, basically, to get that book out as quickly as possible. So it's everything that's in my head synthesized from God only knows how many hundreds of books that I've read about American history, indigenous culture, economic theory, political theory, like all this shit. So,
and how not to go broke ranching. That's one of your books too. I love that title.
That was the first book. You know where that book is?
Where?
Do you know where it is? Because what would be hilarious would be to show you. So the first book I ever bought, and I was thinking about, okay, like what is ranching like? I don't even know how I came across this damn thing. It was like 2012 or 2011. And it was literally a book written by a rancher called How Not to Go Broke Ranching. And there's actually a lot of very good technical advice in it, interspersed with some of the craziest conspiracy theories around climate change and politics you have ever seen. Like, bro was batshit crazy. I forget his name. It was Alan something.
I think it's in the
toilet.
No, I think it's in the bookshelf in our room, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it also had a bunch of like, it had some drawings on it that looked like they were done in Microsoft Paint from 1989. I mean, them shits was pixelated as something. I mean, it was like somebody made this, and then published it, and it was in a legit bookstore. I didn't even buy it on Amazon. Like that shit was in like a Barnes and Noble. Anyway,
that's the next one. Eggs, stamped expiration date versus reality.
Stamped expiration date versus reality. So in reality, eggs that have been kept in a solid cold chain the entire time after they've been washed will stay good for months. As long as they are under continuous refrigeration. They're required by law to put a 30-day expiration date on it because at that point, usually eggs will degrade to grade B, which means they're still usable, but they are like the the yolks are going to sit flat. The whites are going to be extremely runny. The yolks might even start to decompose a little bit, but they will still be perfectly usable.
You can do a float test with your eggs.
And yeah, that's always like the last resort. Like if you're not sure, put it in a bowl of water that completely submerges it. And if that bitch leaves the bottom of the receptacle, then do not use it.
Yeah.
The ass end, like, I wish I had an egg. Let me use my head. So, all right. So like if your egg, if you put it in the receptacle and it goes like this. See, my head shaped like an egg. If it goes like this, but it maintains contact with the bottom of the receptacle. This is the pointy side of the egg. Now, if it leaves the surface, then you got a problem. Then you need to toss that egg. But
I would still use that. Like
you would, because white people crazy as hell. Y'all eat literal shit.
But if it's pointy side down and it bobs all the way up to the top, you throw it away very carefully to make sure that it doesn't explode. That's a very good point. It's going to explode. You're going to have a bad time. If it just bobs like this, that is very bad. But if it's just kind of floating there, like just make sure you cook it all the way.
Yep.
Annie's Guide to Using Eggs.
Yeah, that's right.
Chicken tier?
Chicken tier list? What's that?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Archioda, tell me what a chicken tier list is. Let's see. GO4, what time is it? All right, we got 1 minute. Yeah. Have you looked into earth tubes for cooling your buildings? Will drop your electricity bill to zero and you set up and install it correctly. That would work if we did not have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 freezer compressors operating in a space under 600 square feet 24 hours a day. There's too much. There's basically too much heat being generated by the stuff in the shop to have like passive cooling systems like that work. Like that would be great. Like if I had it for if I had it for my house. But just reading the next comment down. You can wash clothes on Mason's abs. Yes, that is also what. Well, apparently he says that he's an empty shell of a man now because he hasn't been able to go in the gym in forever. Oh, really? Yeah, it's very sad. But his girlfriend keeps sitting on his face, so that's all that matters. Let's see. And the next one is confirm the rumors that you do sit on his face. That just came up organically.
I know, I love that. Do you see how happy he is?
And how flat my nose is? It's all your fault. You used to have a nice long nose. I could point to where shit was. But then because of you, it's all smashed into my face. I look like one of them Olmec colossal heads.
All right, did we miss any or are we making burgers?
We did not miss any. We have to make burgers. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to try to do this every single Sunday. Join us next Sunday at whatever time that I decide, unless, of course, I get drunk or forget. Next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye. Yes, end.